It's the second Sunfoil one-day international. South Africa taking on Sri Lanka. Live to you from Buffalo Park in East London.
At last, it looks as if we're going to get some play. The two umpires making their way out into the middle. Still overcast. It's still a little bit murky, but the clouds, if anything, are just a little bit higher. This, the second Sunfoil ODI between South Africa and Sri Lanka, the second of 5 after South Africa won convincingly at Bullant Park in Paarl a few days ago under the new leadership of AB de Villiers, who then won the toss and decided to bat first and put 300 on the board. This morning, a little bit earlier, he won the toss and has chosen to do the opposite. That is to bowl first. Pretty good bowling conditions, but it was interesting that Tilakaratne Dilshan, Sri Lankan captain, did say at the toss that he would have batted anyway. And there is the Sri Lankan side. With me, a former player for Sri Lanka, Russell Arnold. Russell, a couple of changes there.
Yes, they've strengthened the batting actually, Robin.
But the changes are with the bowling side.
Yeah, Herath and Prasad are in forced changes actually, because Dilhara Fernando, he's injured. His old injury has cropped up again, and same with Ajantha Mendes. He was injured for a while, and it was basically his comeback game the other day, but he's not pulled through well, so hence the changes.
Okay, so forced changes rather than people being dropped. It's always quite nice to know that. It's never nice to have to leave someone out of a side who played in the last game, and especially in such a huge defeat, which wasn't all down to the bowlers, was it?
Certainly not. But there were lots of things that the Sri Lankans could have done better, even with the bat, mostly with the bat, but even on the field, to kind of try and restrict the South Africans. But I think this man has a big part to play. Pul Taranga, he has played here before in an A-team game, came out here and made 160. And also Tilakaratne Dilshan. If they can get Sri Lanka off to a start, it'll calm the nerves, and it'll be just what Sri Lanka need. We'll allow Sangakkara, Jayawardena and the rest to come in and play their own game.
Change too in the bowling order. It was Morkel and Sotsobi who opened the bowling in Paarl and did the damage right up front, and Dale Steyn followed them here in East London. It's going to be Dale Steyn who will start proceedings. Billy Doctorow from the West Indies standing in his 111th, feet off the ground. Nelson, ODI. And Sean George from South Africa standing in just his second one-day international.
A good ploy probably from the South Africans. The other day they used Morne Morkel to angle across the left-hander. But Dale Steyn, his top ball is to bring it back into him, so giving him something else to think about, because opening batsmen do come in with a certain frame of mind, expecting this to happen early. South Africa really changing it around.
On target, first ball. I think what is important for Sri Lanka after a poor batting performance in Paarl is that they don't try and predetermine a score that they feel that they need to get. It's a small ground. We'll talk about that in a moment, but that's a dangerous thing to do, isn't it? They've got to go in and find their feet.
There are lots of traps, and that is what our mind creates for ourselves. It's like you said, just thinking, walking in here, thinking you got to get X amount. Of course, you look at history and you'll see how the pitch has played. And it's been a high-scoring pitch. 350, 300s have been chased down. And also another factor here today is the weather. So we feel we might have a short game, an interrupted game. So if you do plan for those type of things, you will not be able to go about what you need to do. The key thing for Sri Lanka is to stick to the processes. Just go in there, Dilshan play his own game, Pul Taranga try and play his own game. and not worry about what has happened. Pal, just leave it far behind you. If you think about those things, you're always going to be in doubt, and you're not going to find your feet.
And another factor, when you talk about big scores, these boundary ropes, it's not the biggest ground in the world anyway, up to the advertising hoarding, but these boundary ropes are miles in. They're actually reasonably close to the hoardings, but down to my left, it's a good 20 yards in, 20 metres in. This pitch won't have the sort of bounce, I don't think, that we saw at Bulan Park. Look how far that boundary rope is. I don't think these boundaries are much more than about 65 metres. Just judging where the 30-yard mark is to the middle of the pitch, and then trying to judge from those to the rope, very small. So there won't be a whole bunch of twos. 60 is the minimum, so it will be that. That flew through a bit more. And this will be a tactic, I think, after the Pal game. And in limited overs cricket, Test cricket, you can just duck under it and let it go, but you can't let too many go in limited overs because you've got to be looking to score.
And the Sri Lankan batsmen generally very good if you allow them to come onto that front foot. So this length will keep them back, and the moment the bowlers come full, they might not move as freely as they would. So mixing that length up is going to be quite vital.
Change in the field now. Mid-wicket going into place. Brilliant. End of the over, a maiden. And Robert Sapsorbi swung the ball in Pal, and it's reasonably humid here, so you would assume that, although it's always dangerous too, that the ball is likely to swing. We'll soon find out.
We're not seeing the slips in like we did see at Boland Park, so that's another indication that it's not bouncing as much as it did there. And also the fielders are heavily populated in that cover region, the strength. That's where Dilshan likes it. It goes square to the wicket. So a bit more defensive field from the South Africans.
It's a job to know whether it's a defensive field or whether it's a knowledgeable field. There've got to be two people catching, and they've got a slip and a gully. They've also got a man just in front of square on the leg side, just that short square leg. So they know the pace of this pitch.
Yeah, it's more to do with the pace of the pitch and maybe even the swing. More defensive than Pal, but maybe more suited to the conditions here. And AB has reacted early.
Beautifully bowled. Played a forward defensive stroke at it and was beaten.
Did come back. Initially I thought it held its line and Dilshan was expecting it to come back into him, but not as much as he thought it would.
Another change in the field, cover coming into a short cover. Off the mark. Oh, and a direct hit. Field has been flattened. And they've managed to get two in the end.
I think it's cost him. Dilshan did call for the run, but when the fielder got to it, he stopped. And I think that would cost him here, because direct hit will always have you in trouble. Look, he shot by less than an inch. More often, if you go through with the shot, you can get home.
Well, he's about to find out, and so are we. Brilliant fielding by Faf du Plessis. So no run will be recorded.
Again, disappointment for the skipper. Sri Lanka 1 down for naught.
Let's go, boys.
Kumar Sangakkara in a lot earlier than he would like to have been. 308 matches. Absolute veteran of the game. 9,735 runs.
He should be used to this. And more often good batsmen like to bat a lot of overs, even in one-day cricket, so it'll suit him in that sense.
Fantastic bit of fielding by Faf du Plessis. I question the calling though, because when Dilshan hits it down into the ground, which takes a lot of pace off the ball, so it's not actually necessarily going to get past the fielder.
Yeah, more often you can't wait for it to get past the fielder. First runs for Sri Lanka off Upul Taranga's bat. At the end of 2 overs, it's 1 for 1. Well, on that run out again, Jackers, Dilshan calls as he hits it, and he hits it away from the fielder. But the problem here for me is he stops when du Plessis gets the dive out. Now he has to dive, pick himself up, and then go at the stumps. And look how much he's short by.
A little hurdle over Morne Morkel coming in from mid-on to try and be there at the stumps. But yeah, there was a hesitation, wasn't there? And had he not hesitated, oh dear, this is messy. 5. Dale Steyn not a happy man.
Yeah, that was hit slightly to the right of Albi Morkel. Upul Taranga, of course, went right through. It's a tough angle to back up. I thought the fielder should have done better, who was backing up.
Still looking to get off the mark. That would have been close as well.
Upul Taranga responding to Sangakkara. The direct hit would have had him. Robin Peterson, the fielder, he's generally good. He can throw with both hands, though he bowls left-armed. No, that was Dumini, I'm sorry. They both look alike. Yeah, Peterson's on the other side of the field.
Off the mark at last. Taking him 9 deliveries.
And this was that lucky break 2 balls ago. Look at Sangakkara take off as soon as he plays. Now Upul Taranga responding to that. But when Sangakkara yells no, a little too late. But unlike Dilshan, Upul Taranga gets that break. The fielder misses.
Good over, 1 from it. 5 overs gone, 7 for 1. It's head-to-head, South Africa versus Sri Lanka in South Africa. Played 19, South Africa won 13 of them, lost 5. In Sri Lanka, played 11, South Africa won 1 and lost 9. In neutral venues, it's pretty even, 9-8. Just in the air for a little while, but no damage done. 7 for 1. 1 ball of the 7th over has been bowled, and it's time for a change in the commentary box. Kepler Vessels is with Mike Hazeman.
Thanks, Robin. Good stuff again from South Africa, of course.
They really want to force the issue today. They want to show that they can dovetail nicely a couple of games in a row. We know that inconsistency has been a little bit of an issue, so it's an interesting tussle with Sri Lanka looking to fight back. It's a nice shot. Back of the square on the offside. It is going to win the race. They need to string just a couple of reasonable overs together to Sri Lanka to get back on this horse and get playing as they normally do. Morning, Chopper.
Morning, Michael. So this is a welcome boundary for Sri Lanka. It's been a struggle this morning. The surface is very different from the one they faced in Pole. There's not as much bounce. It's a lot slower as well. So it should suit them better.
Yeah, interesting to see AB de Villiers reading it very quickly right at the start and taking out a second slip and opting for a bit more protection on the covers. We lost 26 minutes of play this morning due to a little bit of a drizzle, I guess. Very light drizzle it was. Ground staff, umpires, match referee very proactive to get things underway as soon as possible though.
Bit of a fumble there, but South African fielding this morning really has been quite brilliant, with the exception of one overthrow. The rest of it has been excellent.
Now, we've been showing you some details regarding the various individuals, the work they do throughout a game. We had it during the Test series as well, the Powerade Performance Tracker. This was Morné Morkel during the first One Day International. It's quite a few Ks, 8.7 overall. Sprinting not many, jogging quite a few. And of course that 4 for 10 was his best return in one dayers. What do they count as that little circle? Kepler, is that walking or is that jogging? What is that? I mean, that's just going around in circles at the top of your run-up.
Oh, they've talked to him about it a lot. Trying to advise him to start from a specific spot, like a long jumper would, but he likes to do that, so something that makes him feel comfortable. So I don't know what they would count that as.
Let's say nothing. Obviously helps him though. There we go. Little 360.
The concern with that is that he doesn't always start on exactly the same spot. So that was the feeling that he needed to focus at the top of his run-up, start from a steady, stationary position, or just walk into it rather than do that little circle. So that's Alan Donald's job to try and work on that and negotiate that with him, but he finds it comfortable, he finds that it helps with his rhythm, so far so good.
Past the outside edge to finish the over. 6 from it, 7 gone now, 13 for 1. And I guess, Kepler, what it did is it just dried up the runs totally. I mean, inside that first half hour, 5 wickets going down, they wouldn't have known where to look. At the moment, they're getting to a situation where they're just rotating the strike a fraction, but they were just jammed at either end during that onslaught from Tsotsobi and Morkel.
And they were chasing just over 300, so they had to get away and get away quite quickly, but they just weren't up for it. South Africa too good on the day. It's a struggle as well so far for Sri Lanka. At least they've only lost the 1 wicket, but the run rate, it's just about dried up. That's better. That's a good stroke.
That's a nice way to sign off the over. That's what they need, just 1 or 2 of those scattered amongst some good overs, I suppose, to keep things ticking. 18 for 1 it is after 8.
Talked about the run rate. It's just about dried up, but that was a good finish to the over. Saturanga playing that cover drive pretty well on the up.
That's a nice shot. The chase for Hashimamla. Tags that one back. And it's good aggressive running as well to pick up 3 runs.
Good cricket all round. Excellent fielding by Hashimamla. This is only a small ground. The outfield is not that quick, but it was a good chase. And then good running as well.
Straight catching.
Still here is Hashim. His wife is due. He's on standby to skedaddle out of here. In fact, there is some talk that he may not be around for the next one day. Had a chat to him last night at the hotel. He was pretty relaxed. Easy for him, I guess, Chop.
Ready to go, please? Go fire, Ash.
Definitely.
That's gone. That's carried. It's another slower ball from Tsotsobe. Faint tickle through to the keeper. They've lost another one, Sri Lanka.
Well, Sri Lanka in trouble once again. Sangakkara, thick outside edge. Tentative drive outside off stump, but it was a good change of pace. It was a thick edge, comfortable catch for Abi de Villiers. Just carried through to him, so Tsotsobe gets a well-deserved wicket. He's bowled beautifully. Sangakkara gone for 3, 21 for 2.
Just a youngster, Dinesh Chandamal, 22 years of age, just playing in his 19th game. We saw him bat very nicely and do a pretty good job with the gloves, actually, in the Test series when he was drafted in.
This is why he's there. It's a good change of pace. Very tentative stroke by Sangakkara. He'll be disappointed with that, playing away from his body, not getting that front foot anywhere near the pitch of the ball. So a good breakthrough for South Africa again. Albie Morkel now coming into the attack for the first time. Bowled pretty well in Pile as well, as did all the South African bowlers during that first one-day international.
Now there's just a little bit of movement through the air from Albie Morkel, which is what you'd expect from him, I guess.
Another look at this wicket, the fall of the wicket. Oh, we're near the pitch of that one. Playing away from the body, looking to play 2 square through the offside. Only just carried to Abi de Villiers.
Something also we saw Dale Steyn attempt a little bit earlier. So an intentional plan to Sangakkara. They will consider it well executed. Always a little bit tricky, I suppose, with someone of that calibre, but it's worked beautifully.
Very important from Albie Morkel's point of view that he gets it right with the ball. A lot of the criticism against him in the past has been the fact that the thinking was that he couldn't bowl 10 overs. But by all accounts he's bowled well in the domestic summer so far.
Oh my God, another wicket. Yep, there's another faint tick now. It's being sent straight upstairs. Turunga saying, I want the third umpire, the TV umpire, to have a look at that. He doesn't think he hit that. It was a decision from him, the batsman, straight away.
Definitely heard a sound. We'll just have to have a look where that sound came from. It was another loose drive as well, very similar to the one that Sangakkara played. Just a look at the front foot, so all good there. Morne Morkel well in behind that front line.
Nigel Lung, by the way, as the umpire is going to be adjudicating this. Certainly a noise, that's for sure. Spontaneous from Abi de Villiers. Albie Morkel also celebrated straight away. I think Hotspot is going to be the one to tell the story.
Well, whether he nicked it or not, it's a very disappointing shot. Again, not full enough to drive, way outside off stump, so very loose.
So the one we need to see, let's have a look. Doesn't look like there's anything on Hotspot. So we certainly did hear something. If there was a hot spot on that bat, it would stay there for some time. You'd see a white spot, it'd stay on the edge of that willow for some time. So I think he's going to be surviving.
Well, there was definitely a noise, but doesn't look like there was contact with that outside edge of the bat.
Umpires, by the way, can adjudicate on the noise. Let's have a look and a listen. I'm not sure it's conclusive. I would like to think, if I was the umpire, to see it backed up by some technology as well.
There's no real change of the seam either after the ball goes past the bat. So it'd be tough to give this one out.
Yep, I think he's going to be okay. Nigel Long's having a good look. He sees these exact pictures, by the way. relaying his decision down to Sean. So what's going to happen in the middle? Looks like it's going to be overturned. It is not out. And I think that's right, Kepler.
Fair enough, and a real bonus for Sri Lanka. Last thing they needed was to lose another wicket now. They're already precariously placed at 21 for 2.
Opportunity to say hello to Russell Arnold, who's just jumped in as a third comm spot. You still breathing, Russ?
Oh yes, very much, very much. Well, interesting combination in the middle for Sri Lanka. Chandimal hails from the same village as Upul Taranga. His big brother, you could say, followed him to Colombo, plays in the same club, and they come from a village, Ambalangoda, south of Sri Lanka, closer to Galle, Hazy. And Chandimal lives with Upul Taranga in Colombo, so a lot going between them.
Is that your club, Russell?
Definitely. You'd know a lot about it.
Nondescripts?
Yep. We had a bloke show up one time. His name was Ricky. We couldn't get rid of him. Who's he, Kepler?
He was there for a bit. Enjoyed it thoroughly as well.
Okay, Russ, thanks very much. So these two guys obviously know each other very well. Their partnership hasn't got going yet, and that's what needs to happen from Sri Lanka's perspective. They need to get partnerships. That's what South Africa did in the first game. Intelligent stuff again from Albie. So let's have another look at the big shout for behind.
Well, there was a noise, but no clear evidence that there was an edge. So disappointment for Albie Morkel. Started pretty well today. He looks to be pretty confident. His rhythm looks good as well.
Yeah, it's very interesting that that noise that we heard. Spontaneous appeals from and celebrations from Morkel and A.B. de Villiers. But the batsman also straight away asked for the review. And not conclusive enough was the end result of the DRS. 23 for 2 now. Harath in the lineup. Janta Mendes, the spinner they normally use in the one days, has got a bit of a back issue. Harath was doing a lot of warming up today. He'll be looking to do quite a bit of work, I'd imagine, and impressed like he did in the Test series on this surface today. JP Duminy, this is the first introduction of a bit of spin.
Interesting call, getting JP Duminy on now.
Oh yes, James.
He didn't bowl in pole, he wasn't really needed. Robin Peterson bowled pretty well there.
Let's see that slog sweep, boys.
But it's a very valuable string to his bow for JP Duminy.
Just a bit of turn. Perhaps a little bit of extra bounce as well.
Batting proving very difficult at the moment. That turned and it bounced as well. So far looking like a good toss to win for A.B. de Villiers. He had no hesitation in putting Sri Lanka into bat.
And they in turn wanted to bat.
Perfect.
Just said he had a bit of a gut feel this morning when he was doing the warm-ups. A.B. de Villiers, I thought about it prior to that. A little bit undecided, and then thought, righto, let's keep him on the back foot if we can. Let's have a bowl at the Sri Lankans. Very overcast conditions in East London today, which is bound to assist. He also said he's quite confident that the South African batting lineup can chase down anything.
Excellent fielding at extra cover by Faf du Plessis again. He's had a very good morning in the field. Full toss, so JP Duminy a bit lucky maybe to get away with that one. Ball just stopping in the surface and spinning enough and bouncing enough to create some doubt in the batsman's mind.
Gee, I tell you what, there's lots of chat going on out there at the moment. A.B. de Villiers is always one that's done a lot of encouraging when he's been standing at second slip, but I guess we have the benefit of the stump mics and we pick up everything he says. At the moment, when he's standing over the top of him, believe me, he's saying plenty. There is a man back. However, it's not going to help. Very good connection for half a dozen runs to finish that over. 7 from it in total. 12 gone now. 30 for 2 it is. Of course, shots like this, which is the last ball of the last over, will help the cause. It's certainly not the biggest ground, this one in East London, Buffalo Park.
Good clean strike by Taranga.
Sri Lanka 34 for 2, having been asked to bat first by South African captain A.B. de Villiers. Oh, he's caught it. He's caught it. What's it come off? No, says umpire Sean George. He says nothing on it. No bat. Will the South Africans go upstairs? Nope. Doesn't look like it. They've decided not to go. A.B. de Villiers says no, let's carry on.
There's not a lot of pace in this surface. That was dug in fairly short by Albie Morkel. But it didn't get onto Chandimal quickly at all.
Sometimes batsmen tend to try and fox opposition by flexing their arms and pretending it's hit somewhere else. No foxing involved this time. It's hit flush on the arm, just above the elbow. Dinesh Chandimal. It's a great effort by JP Dumini. It's a good shot. It's a very good shot. Good use of the wrists as well by Dinesh Chandimal, who likes to get the board ticking, likes to see the ball race off to the boundary. Makayantini alongside us now. At home. Morning,
Yes.
Mac.
Yes, for me. Morning, Pomi. Morning, HD.
Morning, Mackie.
Off the edge, and it's gone for 4. Gone very fine. Looking to nudge it to third man. Didn't get as much bat as you'd have wanted, Chandimal, but the desired result for...
Power play or no power play, this would have been a boundary because the edge is at fine enough. Graham Smith on third man. Boundary is, he's not too square, but it went really quickly. Extra pace that Dale Steyn offers. And the boundary options for Taranga are really all on the offside, but because of the slowness of the surface, it'll be really difficult for him to try and get inside the ball, to try and get it through that offside. So there's a real danger for him if he tries to go over mid-off. He could help it down mid-on's throat.
He's tried to go straight and has succeeded. One bouncer, no for the rope for 4. It's a good shot that had to execute well. Upul Taranga, and he did exactly that.
It's a high-risk stroke. It has to be inside the power play. He gives himself a little bit of room to free his arms. Goes very, very straight. Super stroke.
Here's Dale Steyn.
South Africa's decision to bowl first might have seemed peculiar at first, considering how they dominated the first ODI in Paarl by batting first, and it really does look like a good batting surface. It has proved to be a little bit slow, but I think A.B. de Villiers and the senior management would have felt that there was a little bit of swing on offer. There was real overcast conditions this morning when the coin went up, but there hasn't been that much swing on offer. But South Africa is still in control. Run rate under 3. They're in the bowling power play.
Nicely worked. A couple of runs to Taranga. Yeah, this partnership developing quite nicely. 31 from 44. And they're desperate for a partnership. Sri Lanka. They need to get something going. They've only lost a couple of wickets, so that's a good thing. What they need is a base to work from.
The assessment of the surface is important from the Sri Lankan batsman, because we saw South Africa get to 300 in that first ODI. I'm not quite sure that this surface is a 300 surface, so because of the slowness of it, Sri Lanka will feel if they can get somewhere in the 250, 260 region, that they'll have something to bowl to, and their bowlers might be more suited than the South Africans on this surface. I'll take the pace off the ball. Herath controls his pace so beautifully as well with his left arm spin. So they've got to give themselves something to try and defend. Don't get ahead of themselves and try and get to 300. Because if they do that, probably end up getting bowled out for 210, and that's not enough.
Thank you.
Lots of chat about the field between skipper and bowler. Mac, did you do it yourself? Did you have a word with the skipper, or did you just worry about bowling it and let him sort it out?
For me, I never bother myself when it comes to field setting, you know. So one thing that has to, you know, I've worried about is where I want to pitch my ball. You know, the rest is up to him, because if you're gonna stop and ask him to move fielder to field to the different positions, it does take time as well. You know, so what was most important to me is to make sure that I know where I'm gonna bowl, and then I said, okay, if you're gonna pick the offside, and especially coming from the angle that I come from, you know, and then if it's a right-hander going back to them, and then left-hander going across. So all the time my field was always on offside, you know. So those are one thing that I never get to worry about.
Yeah, and overrates, I suppose. Running from so far away. 54 for 2.
That's up in the air, and it's going to land safely and roll down that hill. So the first boundary for some time, which brings up the 50 punch.
And there's finally some intent from Opal Taranga. Full ball on leg stump from LB Morkel. And with the mid-on up close, there's a slow ball again from LB Morkel. Decided this time to go through with it. Went very, very high, but he got enough bat on it. 50 partnership in 82 balls. Pretty slow. They need to take it on, and they need to up the ante a bit.
Pulled away, that might well be 4 more. It's in the hole there. Brilliant from Amla. And Callis helping him out with the throw.
Half tracker from Morkel. Good shot by Taranga. Pulled around the corner. It was a good piece of fielding by Amla. And assisted by Callis.
Wants 2 here to go to 50, and he will get it. So 50 for Taranga, his 21st in international ODIs. 78 for 2. Albie Morkel from the Bunkers Hill end. That's a good shot, and that would stretch third man to the degree that he almost had to give up on it. It's a very short boundary there.
Good piece of timing this. There's a bit of width from Morkel. Timed it beautifully, just behind square. Just a flick of the wrists at the end to get the ball square of the wicket. Dale Steyn at no price. The third man. It seems like he's listened to us, Taranga. Seems like there's some intent to up the scoring rate.
It's also the benefit of having been at the crease a long time. A new batsman coming in might not have got such sweet timing.
Go boys, go boys! Up with better here boys, hey come on!
Robbie, nice and tight, eh?
Fantastic again. Didn't save a run, but the intensity in the field has just been brilliant.
It has been all round. Blessed with great fielding all over the place. Boundary
Down to be.
in tight. Led by Faf du Plessis. Has been John T. Rhodes like.
That last sequence was the run out of Tilakaratne Dilshan. Oh, change of pace again.
Yeah, change of pace. And also good line by Albie Morkel. Tricky as not to give any width. You want to be, whatever pace you're bowling at, you want to be pretty straight. On and about middle and off. No width.
Come on in there, in the geo boys! Down!
90 for 2.
Los hem daar.
It's been a patient innings, one has to say that. And there have been one or two very fine shots.
Yeah, he's a tall left-hander and he plays some elegant shots. He really does. Under difficult conditions. When he hits it, he looks a classy act.
It's the skyline, good over in the 24th and the 26th. Otherwise it's been very pedestrian, and Sri Lanka just getting to a stage now where they've got to try to make a decision as to what total they feel will be competitive. 95 for 2 in the 28th over, and for the next half hour you'll be in the company of Russell Arnold and Mike Haseman.
Thanks, Robin. Exactly right. Sri Lanka need to start showing some purpose. It's back past the bowler. 4 runs, solidly struck. They need a couple of boundaries at the early part of an over to try and step on the gas a bit here, just to provide some impetus.
A good shot from Taranga, because that's the short boundary. The leg side boundary has been well protected. And the intent was to go down the ground.
Yes, Robbie.
I think what we've seen, there's a little bit of a misfield. I think what we've seen from South Africa so far in this game has been really good control. I think the fielding, except for that blemish right there, has been spot on.
Sri Lanka get to 100 in the 28th over. The wicket seems a little slow, Hazy. So thinking about that, Sri Lanka will have a score in their mind.
Yeah, let's just have a bit of a discussion as to what that should be, Russ. Leg side, and you'll need to re-bowl that one. What's your call on the score?
Well, I'd like to look at a score around 260.
Come on, Binho.
Because I think anything lower than that, 240s, the batsman wouldn't need to do anything extra to get there. To be able to put some pressure, you need to get it above that mark.
So that means they need to go at just under 7 and over from here.
Well, let's break it down. In the last 10 overs, they got wickets in hand. 75 to 80 reasonable?
I'm concerned about what appears to be a reasonably long tail. I think one of these guys, Taranga, we know is a fine player. We haven't seen a great deal of Chandimal in the one-day game, but there's a look at the projected scores. He's got to be there at the death.
Yeah, so if you look at it in the last 10 to get 75 to 80, the 40th over, Sri Lanka need to be around 180. We'll come back to that. It's 103 for 2.
7 overs away from potentially taking that batting power play at the spot that you've mentioned. The partnership now worth 83. I wonder, should they be thinking about maybe looking at it soon rather than losing a wicket first and then starting again with a stand?
Well, I think they need to look at getting 5 to 6 runs in over. If they can do that, you can assess in a couple of overs time. Not look at it on the long run, maybe 2-3 overs. Okay, let's try and milk it. They did that in the last over. Now they need to work Morkel. Now if you look at the two batsmen, I think we got no problem with Taranga. He's scoring at about 78. His strike rate around 80. You need one batsman to go at that rate. It's Chandimal, I would think. If Sri Lanka need or feel the need to take a chance and up that rate here, it's got to be Chandimal.
See, I think what they're doing at the moment, Russ, and I'm 100% behind your assessment of this, I think what they're doing at the moment is terrific considering what happened a couple of nights ago. Chandimal is someone who would like to bat and normally does bat, I guess, in one of their games, and hasn't played that many. He normally ups that by about 19, 20 points perhaps, somewhere around about the 80 strike rate. There's a neck. We were talking about maybe taking the batting power play straight away rather than losing a wicket and then have to reassess. Well, they're going to have to reassess now because they've lost a very important wicket at Sri Lanka.
They've lost the man who was controlling the innings, who should have batted through for the others to pay attention to the run rate. But he's batted well. He played some good shots. Upul Taranga just tried to work that down to third man. The ball was there, but maybe tried to get it a little too fine. That's his favourite area, and he perishes trying to hit those zones. Morkel, the change, doing the trick. 66 to Upul Taranga. Sri Lanka 3 down for 105.
So they've been checked again, Sri Lanka, just when they didn't want to lose a wicket. Mahela J. Warden has to stride to the crease. Now we know he's enormously experienced. He's a fine player, but we have not seen it on this tour of South Africa. He needs to step up the plate. Taranga, I thought, did a very good job. Yes, he would have been very keen to bat deeper into this innings, just over halfway basically for his 66. But Mahela's the man that's really got to step up. He's done it so many times before for Sri Lanka, and he is so overdue, it's scary.
Now AB is spot on. He's got 7 fielders into the circle just to put the pressure on Jayawardene, keep him on strike. So that's a good call because this is a big wicket. Jayawardene is a person who can make a difference. When a wicket falls, it's a time where you can build some pressure, get through a few overs. But Morkel, 2 balls ago, got the big wicket of Taranga just when Sri Lanka were looking to get on with it.
And it shouldn't have happened really, let's be honest. That's a man on 66, 85 balls, been there for just over 28 overs. It's a pretty soft dismissal for a guy who was just starting to take control. 20 overs left in this innings. AB de Villiers has been marshalling his bowlers very well as we look at the worm at this stage, and it hasn't got going at all. That's been the problem for Sri Lanka in this, the second of 5 one-dayers.
We were talking of how the batsman might project, Hazy. Now the bowlers. Now, AB de Villiers would also be looking to keep up his options to the death overs. And I think he's done that well. The way the Sri Lankans have batted has given him that opportunity. Scott Dumini has bowled 4 overs. Morkel's got through 6. Peterson's got through 6. With 20 overs remaining, look at his main bowlers. Staines got 6. Tutsobi 4. Morkel 5 after this.
Yeah, it's a perfect situation. And that is a fine stroke. There is a man out there. It's short boundaries we've talked about. That's really good work from Albie Morkel. In the end, they're going to be able to canter back for the third, but that's certainly saved one.
One more night.
A confident shot from Jayawardena got those wrists into play. Initially knocked down by the fielder at point. Just looked like it was getting away from Albie.
That's an area, watching the South Africans, it's an area that we're going to be talking about quite a bit, I think, from a comparison point of view throughout this one-day series. I thought Sri Lanka, who normally have a good buzz in the field, considering the standards they normally set, I thought they were very sloppy in that first one-day. Over 300 runs, of course, and it wasn't going their way. Also the extras, 15 wides and a couple of leg byes, that was also far too high. And then we don't even have to talk about their batting, because that was just abysmal, particularly inside that first half hour. So they've got themselves a little bit of a better start this time. Nelson on the board, 3 wickets down, under 20 overs to go.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be a consideration. It should just be left as a bad dream as far as the Sri Lankan batsmen are concerned. They've got to move on. You can't think of the 43 and try and do better than that.
Couldn't do worse, Russ, that's for sure.
That's for sure too. But the idea here should be to think of this as a new day. What needs to be done today?
One area where they might be thinking they can take a bit of an advantage is right at the very death. Now, they've got to make sure now, I would suggest, that Mahela Jayawardena is the bloke who probably needs to be partnered by Kusala Kulasekara, or maybe, if things go very well, Angelo Matthews. If they've got someone who can capitalise in the death overs, that might be something that will work nicely for them, because South Africa have certainly struggled in bowling at the death rush, and particularly in the World Cup.
Yeah, but the conditions are different, and the confidence levels are also higher from the South Africans' point of view. And like I just said, AB's got his best 3 bowlers with plenty of overs for the end. Sri Lankan batting a little stronger because Malinga batted at 9 the other day. He'll probably be number 11 because Rangan Herath and Prasad can use that bat. But you don't want to be leaving it to them. Like you said, it's got to be done with Jayawardena, Matthews and Kosala Kulasekara probably.
It's got that away fine, but it's just going to be a single. So that's a pretty good over. 7 runs coming from it. 113 for 3 now.
Those are the bowlers that have been used, 6 of them. Steyn 5 overs for 21. Tsotsobe 1 for 10 in his 6, and Morkel 1 for 20 in his 6. And you have Albie Morkel 1 for 29, and Dumini 26 in 6. Peterson's bowled decently too, 1 for 29. He's bowled 8 overs. And de Villiers has shuffled them about quite a lot, those 6. That's a fantastic shot. Straight back over the head for 4 from Mahela Jayawardena.
Top shot from the ex-captain of Sri Lanka. Back of a length from Morne Morkel. He's just gone through with it down the ground. Very fine shot. I was saying earlier that he's probably, with Sangakkara, their best player. Suggest that him getting in at number 4 and having a chance to get in on this wicket would have been of benefit.
Oh, got him. That's him. It's gone. A really good strike. Fine leg up in the circle. Had to go to his left quickly and did so. Superb catch by Dale Steyn.
It was a great catch, and Morne Morkel, he probably deserves it because he's had a fairly tough summer, particularly in the test matches. He strangled one leg stump off Voliesh. should have been tucked away down the leg side, hit in the air. Dale Steyn took off, caught it two-handed, great diving catch. Mahela Jayawardena on his way, he feels he strangled one. That look on his face, not that much excitement. Jayawardena on his way, out for 19, Sri Lanka 140 for 4.
Nuwan Kulasekara, playing his 100th one-day international, walks out to the middle for Sri Lanka. Best of 57 not out in 2009. $140 for 4, Sri Lanka, and Mahela Jayawardena was doing his best to try and make use of this batting power play. Played a superb shot over Morkel's head, and Jayawardena would have felt that he got enough on that one, and under normal circumstances would have got 4, but for Steyn getting in the way.
Yeah, walked across to off stump. There's a lot of bat on it. Super catch by the fast bowler. Can't be too critical of the shot, can you?
No, it was on. The move across onto the onside. Fine leg is up in the circle. You're just trying to beat him. The problem is, didn't beat him.
I'll tell you what, would have beaten a lot of other guys. But not wide enough of Dale Steyn, particularly the old fast bowler's position. I know a few fast bowlers who wouldn't have laid a glove on it.
Oh, hello.
Tough situation for Kulasekara in his 100th game. Walked to the wicket in the middle of a power play on a toughish wicket. Bowlers have bowled well, field is in tight. Not easy. The trick surely is to get down the other end. Give the responsibility to Chandimal, who's been at the wicket for a while.
Yeah, also has to bear in mind that it's not about batting just 2 overs and a ball. Oh, goodness. There's a whole 10 overs after the power play. Got to keep that in mind. 141 for 4. Likes to hit it, does Nuwan Kulasekara. Used to play softball before cricket.
Had a look at a look about a sort of softball swing this as well.
Steady. Sweeper on the offside into the circle now, and fine leg back. Edged and gone over the slips for 4.
Frustration for Steyn. As Kulasekara backed away to the onside, trying to go over the offside field. As Pommy said, the sweep on the offside had just come in. That's where you try to go, but thick outside edge over the top of the slips. The captain is unimpressed.
I'm pretty sure it's not just the captain who's unimpressed with that. Oh yes, what a shot! That's a fantastic shot for 6.
As poor as the previous shot was, this one was as good. Just back of a length from Dale Steyn. Rocked back. Pulled it over mid-wicket. Went way in front of square. And it's gone all the way.
An unbelievably clean strike. He's swung a few times, has Nuwan Kulasekara. Oh, there's another swing and a miss. More often than not, it's been a miss.
Yeah, he looks determined to make up for the slow scoring in the previous innings in his chance at the wicket. So it's a shot of ball at the moment.
He doesn't normally play like this, Nuwan Kulasekara. I think it may well be a chat inside to say, listen, we've got to try and make sure we use this power play, get a few boundaries away. You can do it. So go ahead, you see it, make sure you hit it. Gone for it again. It's off the edge again, and it's gone for 4 again.
We spoke about this at the pitch report. It fairly races down the hill there towards the Bunkers Hill end. It's gone to try and drive it through extra cover, thick outside edge, and beat the solitary slip. And Graham Smith, the third man, had absolutely no price of getting close to it.
.29 for 1 in the power play thus far. 1 over to go after this delivery. Asking third man to just go a bit fine now as Dale Steyn. It's well bowled. 14 off that one. Good for Sri Lanka. 155 for 4.
Lopsy.
Easily the most productive over for Sri Lanka, courtesy of Nuwan Kulasekara. Had a go at Dale Steyn, a clean strike for 6 over mid-wicket after an edge for 4. And then another edge for 4 just to add insult to injury, so to speak, for Dale Steyn, who was fuming at the end of the over. Here's Lonabo Tsotsobe. 1 for 10. Couple of maidens in there on the 6 overs he's bowled. He's bowling in the power play, the final over of the power play. Oh, good running. Very good running.
Albi! Drop!
Yeah, just nudged out on the offside. 50% had a chance to line it up, but I think he might have been right. Chandimal might have made it. Speaking previous over about the role of Kulasekara as he's walked in here, and clearly that is the role. Chandimal going to try and feed the strike to him. And if he recognises it, he's going to swing hard at it.
A bit of a chat there from Chandimal as well, to just give him some advice, I think, on the way that Tsotsobe operates. He's gone for it. It's gone a long way up in the air and may well clear the boundary. Super stuff from Nuwan Kulasekara. It was a slower delivery and he made allowance for it and got the desired result. 6 runs.
Yeah, another very good shot down the ground. Rolled over, fingers rolled over it, and that didn't make any difference. Went very high. Did a lot of bat on it. And it's turning into a vital little cameo here by Kulasekara.
Good start to the over. A single, a quick one from Dinesh Chandimal, allowing Kulasekara to take up his role in this power play and get the 5 remaining deliveries of the power play, and he started it off with a 6. It's well struck, not going to pierce the field, and Tsotsobe changing things up around the wicket that time, and again a slower delivery, looking to cramp Kulasekara for room.
Yeah, but the effect it's had is to all of a sudden, for the first time in the match, in the 40th over, is the pressures come on to the South Africans a little bit in the field with ball in hand, and putting them under a bit of heat, and see how they respond.
Nicely done, just nudged onto the onside. Again, over to you, Nuwan.
Yeah, he is. And for the first time in the series, AB de Villiers is the South African captain, just under a little bit of pressure now in terms of his field settings, in terms of his bowling changes.
Long off back, deep mid-wicket, a straight one and a deep backward square in place. Don't worry about them, it says catch to mid-on. Super work, fantastic, fantastic work that by Robin Peterson. Looking to go over the top again and go for 6. Nuwan Kulasekara can't quite get it away.
And then if you're going to pick somebody in the South African side not to hit the ball to in the air, it's probably Robin Peterson. Gave himself a bit of room, trying to go over the top again. Got it pretty high up on the bat. And Robin Peterson made a very difficult catch look pretty easy. Captain's happy. Kulasekara is on his way. Out for 22, just 13 balls. 164 for 5.
Angelo Matthews walks out to the middle in his 60th game. 8 50s for him in one-day internationals. Best of 77 not out. A super catch to get rid of Nuwan Kulasekara.
Yeah, right on the bottom of the bat. That's why he didn't get it all the way to the boundary. Robin Peterson on the ball all the time. Two-handed. As I said, made a very difficult catch look remarkably easy. Very fine fielder. Was a very handy left-arm spinner and lower order hitter.
Nicely done by Dinesh Chandimal. Gets a couple of runs and gets to 50. A 51 from 84 balls, and it's his second one-day international 50 to go along with his 200s that he has. 166 for 5. 51 to Dinesh Chandimal. Sri Lanka, 166 for 5. 66 from Taranga was a good performance. He played well, did Taranga. Good partnership with that man there as I look at his career. 200s and 250s. Robin Peterson to bowl now.
Oh yes, alas! Oh, wise man.
Matthews off the mark straight away. Time for a change in voice. H.D. Ackerman and Robin Jackman.
Met de wicket alsjeblieft.
Thanks very much, Pommy. Enjoy your lunch.
Fijner. Groot gehoping.
It's come alive, this game, at last. It needed to, from a Sri Lankan point of view. It's nicely played as well. Just races down there. They'll be on the blower over this one, I think. Yep. Pick up the dog and bone. And that's number 3.
It's nice and fine. Very quick down there. I think Tsotsoba's in trouble, he is. That'll be 4.
Leef 45 in hè. Seker 45.
There's your rule again, Jackers.
Ooh. Don't go there. He hit it over both of them for 6. Very good shot, inside it, and timed it sweetly.
The change of bat has worked. It's a real good cricket stroke from Angelo Matthews. Peterson gets it in at about middle and leg stump, but he gives himself enough room, opens the face of the bat and just lofts it over extra cover and hits it well enough to get the lot.
Welcome back, Robbie P. Wacht, 12:45 alsjeblieft. Gaat zo maar aan de square leg. Lops!
That field changing again. Extra cover goes back onto the edge of the ring. The square leg has now gone finer on the boundary, and a square leg saving one.
Mooi tier. Ja. Sorry,
Massive changes in the field for each different batsman, which is great. I mean, some homework's been made, but some serious overtime going on here, and it's something that maybe you'll have to be a little bit careful of. Over rate's important. 186 for 5. Sri Lanka have scored at 9 and over in the last 5 overs. The loss of just 1 wicket. 3 4s and 3 6s. Morkel now. Let's cut away, that's 4 more.
Really is a dangerous little player, is Chandimal. He hits the ball very, very sweetly. Very strong square of the wicket on the offside. There's not a great deal of width from Morkel. But he stays leg side of the ball and finds the gap beautifully. I really just like the way they've paced their innings here in East London. It's been a lot better. I know it's not difficult to be better than what they were at Paarl, but they just went out and played so aggressively in Paarl and got themselves into so much trouble so early on, and were never able to recover.
He's got the man in the right place, but didn't manage to stop it. Swing and a miss and a wide call.
He has come down the wicket, given himself room, but I think umpire Doctor has got that spot on. Morkel chose to throw it wide, but it was just too wide. I was just talking about how more impressed I've been the way they've constructed their innings this time around, and they got themselves into early trouble. Dilshan running himself out and Sangakkara getting out caught behind. But Chandimal and Taranga, both of them, they had a good look. There were some sweet shots in between. It wasn't the easiest surface to score runs on, but they built a solid enough foundation where now they can attempt to accelerate, and there's definitely seen that sort of acceleration taking place, especially from Angelo Matthews and the way he's trying to go about things.
performance tracker from Powerade on Morné Morkel.
I think that if Sri Lanka can get somewhere around that 250 mark, it will be something South Africa would have to play. They'd have to play well, because scoring runs, if the bowlers have bowled with good variations of pace and have been disciplined in their lines and lengths, it will be troublesome for them. Someone will have to play well.
It's 195 for 5. A clever game. I think one thing they'll also take into account is that whatever they're set, they want to be trying to win that with 3 or 4 overs still to go. They wouldn't want to get it tight with the likes of a Malinga, who is so good at the end of an innings and getting the ball in the block hole. You don't want to be trying to get 9 and over to do that at that stage.
With regard to bowling the ball in the block hole, do you think on a surface that has such little pace, do you think that is still the right length to try and bowl at the back end? I know that Malinga's very, very good at it, but with regard to South Africa,
yeah, that's a different story. If you're just referring to that gentleman there with the highlights, I would say he's so good at it that it doesn't matter what the surface is, he'll follow that. If you don't feel that you are as accurate as he is, then it isn't necessarily a prerequisite that you've got to do it. That's just as effective as taking pace off the ball. There have been some lowish totals defended here. 129. 182, I think, is an interesting yardstick.
just going back to that death bowling, I just sometimes think that when they try and go full, then it just takes the inconsistencies of the pitch out of the equation. Just nicked his pad, so Staines got away with one. But as you rightly mentioned, if Malinga's got the ball in hand, he must do what he does best.
Slower ball. Let's just clip the pad. Nicely gathered in by de Villiers.
Misfield, through for two. Little bit sloppy. Steyn will be disappointed.
Come on, boys, eh? Finish well, you men.
Just missed the ball. It's hit him on the thigh. Just got away from him. This time it is only just the one. It's 199 for 5. Just 5 overs left then. I would say at this stage 250 the target for Sri Lanka. And that brings up the 200, which at one stage of the innings didn't look that likely. Sri Lanka have done well here.
They have done well, and it's been courtesy of their less experienced players. Again, Dilshan, Sangakkara, Jawardena not really featuring.
Hold!
Dilshan 0, Sangakkara 3, Jawardena 19. Slap that to mid-on.
Yes!
Cross-court forehand.
It was real short from Walkle. But the foot's firmly down now from Sri Lanka. As many as they can get. Wickets now not a problem.
Take your starter ball. Come on, boys. Thank you. Finish that touch, please. Last one.
I missed that because it was slightly slower, or batsmen still to come, not necessarily in that order.
Top work, Boras.
Walkle continuing his good progress from Paul. As you mentioned over and over again, he struggled in the early part of the summer, but slowly but surely he's found some rhythm. And he's got 2 wickets today already for 38. A surface not suited to him.
Number 6, boys.
Straight to Stain at fine leg. 204 for 5. There it goes. Once again over the backward point and runs away for 4. On another day, goes straight up in the air. That's exactly what we were talking about 10 minutes ago.
Chandimal swings, and he swings hard. It is a cutter from Tsotsobe. But with third man up in the ring, backward point as well, it lands harmlessly and runs away for a boundary. He's going to change his angle of attack now and come around the wicket. Try and cramp the right-hander Chandimal for room.
There we go. I think there was a bit of helmet involved there. I heard a bit of tin.
Well, the luck is going Sri Lanka's way right now. Chandimal looking to go up the fine leg, over the fine leg that's in the ring, gets a little top edge onto the helmet, and away down the hill for another boundary. The acceleration from Sri Lanka is a good one.
So now 4 in the ring, all on the offside. The onside is fine leg, deep square leg, deep mid wicket and long on. In these sort of situations is when one can visibly detect steam coming out of bowlers' ears. When this sort of thing happens, somebody has a swing and it doesn't go anywhere near where he's trying to hit it, and goes for 4. want two here and get it. And brings up the 50 partnership between these two, and it's been a very important one. Just 41 balls. And it's put Sri Lanka into a competitive position.
Chandamal, 34 of 24 deliveries, his contribution.
More orthodox stroke for one.
It is an area where South Africa have struggled in the past, bowling at the back end, not knowing really who were the best men for the job. We've had Rusty Turon play in one-day cricket and in T20 cricket to South Africa, feeling that he could get the ball up into the block hole. Dale Steyn has done the job as well, but they still seem a little uncertain on who the right men are to bowl at the end of an innings. Mid-off goes back onto the boundary, mid-wicket up into the ring.
Three to go, 216 for 5. Just hit that too well.
This is really the first time that A.B. de Villiers' captaincy tactically will probably be tested, and that you can place whatever field you want to, but bowling at the back end is not easy. Balls go in strange areas, and if your bowler doesn't bowl according to his field, the captain can look rather silly. His field changes virtually every ball now.
Mooi Steindorf, mooi seun. Top work, Dolly.
How do you think he's done, Jackers?
Well, this is the first, isn't it, that he's had to do some real thinking. I think he's kept wicket pretty well. He's been... I just... He'd be interesting to talk to now after this, after being sort of put under the cosh just a little bit as to who to bowl and when. But he must make sure that these over rates aren't consistently like this, because I think I'm right in saying that the first two times captain gets fined, and the next time he suffers a ban of a match or a suspension of a match or two, and that South Africa cannot afford. It's a utility player.
Brilliant, Dale!
Oh, well played. Very good indeed. And that's all about making the most of the length. Very premeditated, but successful.
So clever. Moves really early, gets a long way across. Steyn bowls the length that Chandamal was looking for, and he just helps it on its way.
Steyn got a hand out. 2-2-3 for 5. Just chipped it.
His 2 previous hundreds, one in Harare and the other one Lords in England. So likes getting them away from home.
Probably doesn't get in at home.
Come on, boys.
Well, not with enough time anyway. The 111 was against India in Harare last year. 105 not out, obviously, against England at Lords. I'm reminded that I should have said 2 years ago, probably about a year and a few days ago, would be more accurate.
Interesting to see the way Angelo Matthews is playing. He just seems to be knocking one to try and get Chandamal on strike. Now, I know there's 100 for the taking for Chandamal, and his teammates will want him to get there, but it's also important that they get as many as they can. Matthews can hit the ball a long way.
It's hit very hard and straight, but it will be cut off. See now the man at long on.
So important at the back end of an innings that the captain gets the correct fielders on the boundary, especially at long on and long off. You want your real quick men. Peterson and Duplessis doing the service now.
I can recall watching South Africa when Hansi Cronje was captain, and Jonty Rhodes went from long off to long off for the last few overs of limited overs games. He didn't necessarily have the strongest arm from the deep, but he was so quick to the ball. And he was only about 20 yards away from the stumps he had to throw at by the time he picked it up. One over to go, 2:28 for 5. Overall run rate just over 4.5, 2:28 for 5, and there's a debate in the commentary box whether maybe Sri Lanka have missed just a little bit of a trick here in terms of the way that Angelo Matthews has played these last couple of overs. Perhaps we feel that both batsmen should be trying to hit boundaries rather than laying the ball off and for the other player. See how he plays now. There we go. Catch was the call, but it's gone for 4. He hit that really hard.
He's absolutely smashed this. Just short from Steyn. He's hit it flat. These are tough catches. Duplessis on the deep mid-wicket boundary, not quite sure whether the ball would carry to him, has come racing off the fence, diving forward. And it's gone through his hands. It is a tough catch, but he is one of the better fielders that South Africa have on the park. Boundary for Matthews.
You ask the question now, should he have tried to catch it or just back off it? And allow it to be one. That's nicely played, cleverly played. Smith this time does the work on the boundary and does it well. Just let the ball hit the bat and it's flown down to the boundary. Graham Smith does very well running from square leg. Straight to the man, sweeping up, Cullis.
When you see Matthews striking it like this, you can't help thinking that maybe 2 or 3 overs before he could have been trying with this acceleration. There is enough batsmen to come. There's the all-rounder Kulaseka. We've seen Herat, he struck it well in 1 or 2 of the test matches. Know that Chandimal is just around the corner from 100. It's going to be tough to get it from here. He's going to have to find the boundary.
Yes, thank you. Position.
Pressure stop ball. What sort of area he's targeting in his mind? It might be over extra. And he's going to struggle to get his 100 now.
Out for the last one, please, Buffy. Done, boys.
Had to go out of the ground. So the last ball of the innings then. Straight to mid-off and taken by Morne Morkel. Sustain eventually gets a wicket. Having been frustrated for a great deal of today, I think mostly through the pace of the pitch, not really being able to bowl with the sort of venom he would like to.
Looks to go over mid-off. Good option. Just didn't execute it the way he would have liked to have. Morne Morkel takes a comfortable catch. Just hits the toe of the bat, Angelo Matthews. He did manage to accelerate in that last over somewhat. But the South African side will be, I would think, very happy. They only need 237 runs to win. It's well under 5 and over.
So there we are. South Africa won the toss, chose to bowl first, and Sri Lanka got themselves to 236. So South Africa need 237 runs to win from the 50 overs available at 4.74 runs per over.
Welcome back to the start of the second half of the second One-Day International in the Sunfoil Series. South Africa versus Sri Lanka it is, live from Buffalo Park in East London. That is the situation. South Africa cruised in the first game, destroyed Sri Lanka, and in this one now, batting second, they need 237 runs to win. They need to go at just under 4.75 per over from the go. It is a target which is going to be interesting because the average score batting first here is 243. Sri Lanka will be fired up. I think they probably missed out on maybe about 15 runs of the bat. They certainly, in my mind, should have got the 250 mark. We'll analyse that a little bit further. Chandimal was the star, not out on 92 of 115 deliveries. And Matthews, a nice little flood of 28 off pretty much a runner ball from him. And Kulaseka played nicely for his 22 off 13. And right at the top, Turunga. He would have been disappointed to have been dismissed for 66 with plenty of overs left in the innings. And if you look at the South African bowlers, can see that Dalstein just got a little bit of tap, going at 6 runs and over, 1 for 54 off his 9. The rest of the guys going at around about 4.5, I guess, on average. Spin was used quite a bit with Duminy introduced in the 12th over, and Peterson completing his full 10. Morne Morkel doing another fine job, picking up 2 for 39. So South Africa at this stage, I think, in fact it was confirmed by Robin Peterson in a flash interview, pretty happy with the situation, but they're going to need a start. That certainly goes a big way to winning these games. The track is slow, we know that. Tilakratna Dawson's had a nightmare series with the bat. And we've got around about 17,000 people here in East London to watch this game. Alongside me is HD Ackerman. HD, good afternoon. Your thoughts?
Good afternoon, Mike. Yeah, I think that South Africa, when they won the toss and decided to field, that they thought there might be a little bit of swing on offer. There wasn't much. The surface did prove to be a little bit slow. Sri Lanka didn't really get out the blocks, losing 2 big men in Dilshan and Sangakkara early on. The young man Chandimal has certainly enjoyed the conditions in South Africa and has played really well. But 237 is still a total that is defendable at this ground. There have been totals lower than that defended, but the Sri Lankans are going to have to make inroads real early. Graham Smith and Hashim Amla will open the innings for South Africa. Smith under a little bit of pressure. Got 100 against Australia at Newlands early in the summer in a test match, but since then his form has been a little bit barren.
And in the last 10 knocks, he's only been averaging a shade over 20. Not doing the captaincy job any more than one day is AB de Villiers. The energised AB de Villiers is holding down that role now for South Africa, and was pretty impressive as skipper in the field today. Hashim Amla has been sensational, we know that. 9th, won the international 100 in the very last game. His wife is due to give birth any day, we understand, so maybe a little bit of extra pressure on him. And we know that an uncluttered mind is one of the secrets of being a quality batsman, a performing batsman. And they're going to have to face this guy who, quite simply, is sensational.
Swings the ball away from the right-handers up front. It's not late swing, it comes from the hand due to the angle of delivery. But he was good in Paul, 5 for 54, and he's allotted 10 overs. And how effective is he at the back end of an inning? So whatever South Africa decide to do up front, they're going to have to make sure that they try and chase this total down in around about 46, 47 overs. They don't want to leave it right to the back end and let Malinga do what he does so well.
They lost 6 for 60 in the first game after being in a commanding position. It didn't matter in the end, of course, because they blew Sri Lanka away. Sri Lanka only scoring 70 runs for the loss of 1 wicket in their last 10 overs. That's not where they should have been, just losing 1 wicket in the last 10. In fact, only picking up 109 runs in their last 15 for the loss of 3. So 6 down after 50 overs. I reckon they might be a shade disappointed with that. Here we go with Malinga. Bay on target first up. And Smith off the mark.
Smith won't be under the amount of pressure that he was under in Paul when batting first and having to set a target. He now knows that it is not a massive total that South Africa have to chase down Graham Smith, so he can take his time, he can have a look, he can defend, he can leave a few alone. So it is an ideal situation for someone that struggled a little bit with form to find himself in.
I guess it's fair to say, I mean, yes, Hashim was outstanding in the last game, but by his own admission, he said he didn't start particularly well there, and it was just the partnerships with a couple other guys that got him back on track.
Well, I suppose that's just typifies the man and the mental condition that he's in when he bats. He's the ability to shut off poor strokes or when there's a good spell of bowling at him, and then capitalize later on when he starts to find the middle of the bat. Because towards the back end of his innings, he really was in superb condition. Played beautifully.
Malinga operating with 2 slips. Oh, Smith's a long way down. A direct hit will find him short by some distance. There's a life for Smith.
Amla sets off for the run and then sends Smith back. He was involved in a run out in the first one-day international. Jacques Kallis was unfortunately run out by a direct hit. This time the Sri Lankans miss.
Well, I guess it's fair to say that he was quite fortunate that it went to the keeper, Chandamal. Amla now away as well. Thinking about two, decide against it. Couple of catches for Smith, a slip and also a man at short mid-wicket. He'll be honing in on that off stump.
He was out caught. Good catch by Sangakkara in the first ODI, Graham Smith. He just spars at the ball when it's a little bit wide of off stump. No great deal of foot movement, and as soon as his hands get away from his body, the ball's no longer under his eyes. He's chopped one on over the course of the summer, so that has been a problem area. I suppose it is referred to as the corridor of uncertainty, so but he can have a look.
Tidy stuff, first up from Malinga, just conceding 2 runs. 2 for none it is. Have a look at those numbers for Hashim Amla. 28 years of age, 54 games, average of 56, number 1 in the world. Doesn't show it on that graphic, but strike rate for AB de Villiers with an average of 45. Also impressive in the 90s or thereabouts. So they really do have some pretty good flexibility, South Africa. They showed it with their bowling attack today, with spin being introduced quite early. This is a bloke that I've really enjoyed watching over the years, playing in his 100th game. One-day international cricket. I went up to him before the day's played. And he had a big grin on his face, knowing that he'd notched up those 3 figures. Bowls big in swing to right-handers generally, and then the other ball is one that just holds its line. First up, and I think it's going too far down the leg side.
He said he bowls big in swing. This one comes back quite sharply. Probably missing leg and a little high.
He was number 1 in the ICC One Day International bowling rankings in March 2009, was Nuwan Kulasekara. Batsmen HD today haven't had to contend with the bounce they had in Paarl.
I think that's what nullified South Africa's attack early on, is Morkel and Tsotsobe didn't extract the bounce and the pace that was on offer in Paarl, which troubled the Sri Lankan batsmen so much. But I also think that the Sri Lankan batsmen applied themselves a little bit better.
It's nicely worked with the swing.
There wasn't the same expansive stroke play which we saw in Paarl. Started off a little bit slower, or more circumspect. Chose their strokes a little bit better. Got into trouble early on, 2 early dismissals, but Chandamal was really good.
That's a belated appeal. which leaves Billy Doctrove unmoved.
Just flicks the pad.
Certainly is getting just a little bit of movement as Kulasakra. Now 5 of those. What he normally does at stump stage throughout an over is just bowls one that keeps it line. Just a little inside edge onto the pad. Would have been going down anyway. He never has been of any great pace, Nuwan Kulasakra, but certainly effective. Will this one hold its line? End of the over, 2 from that as well. 4 for no loss. One of the areas where South Africa will feel they might have a little bit of an advantage today is the fact that Tamika Prasad is in the lineup. Delhara Fernando is not. He hasn't had the greatest of tours, but he's one of those guys that can pick up a wicket and has a bit of gas. Prasad is not someone who is known for his one-day feats. I think maybe Sri Lanka might be strengthened with Harath in the lineup instead of Mendes, though.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Prasad, he got a couple of wickets in the test match at Newlands, the 3rd test, but he was a bit all over the shop, wasn't he? Varying lengths, varying lines, and South Africa were able to pick him off. And in the one-day arena, it doesn't get any easier, but with Herath, I think you're spot on, Mike. He varies, his control is so good, his variation of pace.
One of the things about facing Malinga, and these days, I guess, with the invention of the IPL, quite a few of the South Africans have done that. JP Duminy has played with him at the Mumbai Indians, so the South African players will be more used to facing him now than, of course, a few years ago. But you do not want him to get his tail up. That's the bottom line. One of those guys that when he does pick up an early wicket, he's always a chance to get another quick one soon after because of that unusual action. Often provides his own highlights package. That's good running.
Now, what's important when taking a quick single is there's the no hesitation. Is that both batsman and non-striker, they trust each other. There was an immediate call from Graham Smith. Yes, one. Amla went straight away and they're in comfortably.
It's quite interesting. It must be quite difficult for Graham Smith to work this from that area, just in front of square on the leg side. You'd be thinking so much about playing straight against Malinga, like that. That's what most people like to do. They realise that it just comes from nowhere. And I don't care how many times you see him on a DVD or any sort of video you might have, or have a look at all the Hawkeye analysis and his release points. It'll be completely different and so unusual when you get out there if you're not used to facing him. So you'd be concentrating on playing him as straight as you possibly can. Not Smith, he works him from well outside that off stump and tries to get that single, which he did on the 4th delivery. River cricket, that's what gave him this action. That's a nice change down in pace as well. 5 for none. Gee, that's a good shot. Wow, that is a beauty. That's gone for 6. What a fine stroke that is. That'll waken everyone up.
He may have started poorly in Paul, but what a way to really kickstart your innings here. It's not a half volley by any means. He gets into such a good position and he middles it over extra cover. That is as tough a cricket shot as you can play, and Amla has played it to perfection.
That's nicely played. Just in front of square on the offside. Solid enough for 4.
Matthews doesn't have a lot of pace, but because the ball is so new, one of them, it comes onto the bat beautifully. Not quite a square cut from Smith, more backward drive, but he gets it square and away for a boundary.
They have some pretty solid bats these days. International cricketers, that one is right out of the middle. That's whipped away beautifully on the leg side. Goodness me, that's a class stroke.
He's good all round the wicket, is Hashim Amla, but through the leg side, well, he's up there with the best. This ball just outside off stump. With a whip of the wrists, goes aerial, but no danger. Beautifully struck again.
A couple of shots we've seen from Hashim Amla already in this innings. It's just a great example, I think, of, and if you compare with the way Smith is playing right now and the way that he often has played, he's not the most fluent of stroke players, but effective. But we're seeing a wonderful example of confidence, what that can do for your game.
Shot, very good shot by Hashim Amla. Flick off the legs for 6.
That's a terrific stroke by Hashim Amla. He's looked confident from the word go today. Very strong on his legs, as we know. And the timing this time was spot on. It is a short boundary, but that is just the perfect way to hit the ball over that square leg fence.
Very risky. Times it so well, Amla. Good hand on that. Slower delivery to follow. Kulasekara. Coming off 100, so you'd expect him to be confident. Hashim Amla. Really good touch. Gotta say though, he seldom looks out of touch. Even when he doesn't quite get a lot of runs or goes through a period where he doesn't get many runs, he tends to strike it really well and just get out. Shot again. There's a man out there this time. It raced off to the man on the fence.
It's been a long time since he's had any sort of a form slump in either Test cricket or one-day international cricket. He's been consistent all the way through. Just another example of his balance on that leg side. This is a slow pitch, so he kept his head upright, played the ball late, and his timing was superb.
He's on 22, Hashim Amla, off 23 balls. Couple of 6s. The first of those was just unbelievable. It was off Kulasekara as well, and just decided that, well, we kind of have to go some. And it was a check drive over extra cover for 6. One thing to decide upon it, another thing to execute.
And then the second 6 as well over the leg side. That was a slightly easier shot, but just as effective.
Big shout from Kulasekara. And also the keeper, Kumar Sangakkara. Billy Doktrov says no. Tough. He's a swing bowler. He swings it away from the left-hander, so you'd expect when he hits him on the pads, it would have pitched outside leg stump more often than not.
It's falling over Graham Smith. Yeah, spot on. That pitch outside leg stump. So good decision not to go upstairs.
It's a nice shot. Favoured area for Smith. Good over that. 8 off it. 36 without loss. It was very noisy. Blurting out instructions now and again, encouraging the bowlers, talking about their fields, all in Afrikaans.
Yeah, he was busy, but he was pretty good. Graham Smith threw the shot too early.
Well played.
Looking forward to see Heroth bowl on this pitch. He should be effective. He bowled well in the test matches. He missed out on selection in the first one-day international, but this sort of surface should suit him pretty well. But important for Sri Lanka to try and get a wicket or two before he comes on, so he can create real pressure in the middle order during the middle part of the innings.
Yeah, I described it as a fighting total, 236, and what you need as a one-day international side or as a bowling side is early wickets. Shot. Fantastic shot. It was misdirected by Prasad, but fabulously executed. Just helped it on its way for 4.
You've got a spot on there. It's a poor delivery, but the execution is superb. Hashim Amla right on top of that hook shot, and his timing was spot on. It's a powerful South African batting lineup, this one. The pitch is on the slow side, but it's by no means a bad surface to bat on, that's for sure.
Having not got the early wickets, Sri Lanka find themselves as a bowling side under real pressure. Heaps of it. With the 2 players out there, Smith is striking at 50% and Hashim Amla at more than 100. So as the side, the bowling side, you'd be hoping to bowl more deliveries at Smith, but it's not happening that way. Let's look at Smith's year by year. 419 runs in 2011. Yeah, in a slight rut, you'd say. Graham Smith struggling for runs. Needs some in this one just to get himself confident once again. 43 without loss. Good start this for South Africa. 43 without loss, and it's Smith and Amla for providing the platform to go towards that 237 they need to go 2 up in this Sunfoil one-day international series. The opposition skipper Tilakaratne Dilshan into the attack to bowl his off spinners. Cut away and gone for 4. It was a gift, it was short, and Smith duly accepted.
Poor delivery, exactly the sort of delivery Graham Smith be looking for right now to get his innings going. It was short, it was wide, he had plenty of time to go back and place that between point and cover. Gulshan's struggles continue. He's had a really tough time on this tour.
It's the final over of the power play. So he's under pressure, Dilshan, to get his bowling spot on, or he'll disappear through the field or over it. And starting with the 4 just puts you under more pressure as the bowler, because you're clawing back or trying to for the rest of the over. It's damage control right from ball number 2.
That's why, from a batting point of view, if you're going to take a calculated risk, try and do so with the first couple of deliveries in the over to transfer the pressure back onto the bowler, rather than allow the pressure to back up, to mount, and then having to take the risk of the last couple of deliveries when the bowler can defend the over.
Field changes then for the right-hander. Got to decide which men will be out in the deep. Generally bowls it quite quick, does Tilakaratne Dilshan. He's got a deep mid-wicket, he's got a long on. And then on the leg side he's got short fine leg and backward square on the edge. Great wrists.
Good over for South Africa so far.
Good comeback considering the start. Just 6 off that one. So 10 gone. South Africa 49 without loss.
Change of ends for Dilshan.
Good start by Dilshan. Wonder why he goes to himself first, though, rather than going to Ranga Nahera, who's the spinner in the side.
Yeah, also can't quite work that one out.
Yeah, when left-handers are out there, you might think that it's because they're left-handers and he might turn it away from them. But you've got a combination of left and right. Nicely played, a deft touch from Hashim Amla, using the pace, and he gets 4. He's played all the shots today and played them well.
That was quite brilliant. The late cut, played to perfection. Just shows how difficult Hashim Amla is to tie down in this form of the game. Scored all around the wicket today, through the offside, through the leg side, and then the delicate touch of the late cut. Quite superb.
More runs. It was quicker this time, and Amla able to just glance it onto the onside and beat the man at short fine. 4 more.
Definitely not Dilshan's day so far. Second boundary concedes in the over. The first one was a good late cut. This delivery was too much down leg side. Just a flick of the wrist again by Hashim Amla, and perfect placement. Two boundaries followed by the single, so good sensible stuff. He knows exactly how to construct his innings, Hashim Amla, whether it's a test match or a one-day international. He understands his strengths and his weaknesses, and he plays accordingly.
It's been great for Graham Smith, as it was for Amla when he was struggling at the start of the first one-day international, and Cullis was going great guns at the other end. And Smith will know that the way that Amla is playing buys him some time in this innings. He doesn't have to do anything out the ordinary, anything experimental. If it's there, hit it for 4. Otherwise, just nudge it and get to the other end. And he can spend a lot of time out in the middle, which is what he'll be after, and compile a score. What was it you said, Kepler? About 70 odd not out?
Yep, that'll be spot on. Exactly what he needs. So 13 overs gone, 68 without loss.
Further and further apart, the Worms. And still South Africa have not lost a wicket. They're going really well. Run rate 5.23 in their 13 overs. Ranganahera into the attack. 17th match. Good economy rate of 4.3. Time for a change in voice. Russell Arnold and Robin Jack.
Thanks, Bum. Now this I think will be an interesting little period of the game, because somehow or other Dilshan's got to find a way of breaking this partnership, and it just might be Hereth, and I think it's going to depend on what sort of field he bowls to. He's not going to be allowed, we shouldn't be allowed to just be picked off for one a ball. Somewhere he's got to apply a little bit of pressure in order to try and break this deadlock. South Africa are doing this far too comfortably at the moment.
That's the problem you will have when you have just 236 on the board. The batsmen don't need to do anything extra to get there. So I do feel Sri Lanka a few runs short, but at the end of the day, they got the runs on the board. This wicket is much slower than we did think initially. Sri Lanka did feel confident at the halfway mark, but they needed to start well again, pick up a couple of wickets maybe. But it's actually gone the other way with Hashim Amla especially. 45 of 38. And each time the Sri Lankans look like building some pressure, he's just picked them over the boundary.
It's a run the ball so far.
It's not a pitch that's turning square, but it will keep the slow bowler interested. That was tossed up nicely, much slower. It's 72 for no loss.
Chandimal played brilliantly for his 92, and he and Taranga held that innings together with some good contributions from Matthews and Kulasekara towards the end there. And Amla and Smith have got South Africa off to a good solid start. 75 from 16 overs.
Damika Prasad also in for the first time. Did play in the third test. He's coming back from injury, just like Nuwan Kulasekara.
That's two.
I think a big difference between the two teams, Jack, is the ability to pick off singles. Sri Lankan single options are not really great here. They can hit the boundaries, but you don't build an innings all around boundaries. It's about mixing it up, rotating the strike, and sneaking one through. Sri Lanka played down 156 dot balls. That's 26 overs in all in dot balls.
That's straight up in the air. And out. So, that is the wicket that was required. That's exactly now what Sri Lanka wanted.
It's Graham Smith, who's not looked in great touch. He's done a great job hanging around there with Hashim Amla. Again, the ball not bouncing. But Smith not offering the full face of the bat, getting a top edge. Upul Taranga hangs on. So 28 runs to Graham Smith. South Africa 1 down for 76.
There isn't a ground in South Africa that this man doesn't get an ovation when he walks into bat. Closing in on 11,500 runs in this form of the game. Averages 45, 1700s. And he's at the crease now. He's not facing as Amla and Smith crossed during Smith's dismissal.
It's just those options, running it down for singles. That was a good ball, but Amla's off strike. Now Kallis is out there because Sri Lanka got a break. Graham Smith top edging this pull. Nothing delivery really. Not finding his timing at all. Pultaranga had to wait a long time for that to come down into his palms. Now what's important here is that Sri Lanka are able to follow up. Try and pick up back-to-back wickets or get a few tight overs in.
Pulled away by Kallis. He almost had to wait for that extended arms and just caressed it between the two men back.
They tried to surprise the batsman again, not getting up as high as he would have liked it. Kallis playing that by instinct and able to pierce the field. Ideally, you want it above that eye line, around the eyes.
Yes.
He's beaten the short third man and run away for 4. Too wide, especially with the field set in that way.
Malinga changed the field. A slower one outside off stump though, but well played by Kallis. But I thought the fielder could have done much better. Jawardhan the culprit.
Yeah, there's a semblance of the Sydney Harbour Bridge there. This time he has got it, the third man, and he does go through for half century number 16 in international ODIs off exactly 50 balls.
Number 1 he is. He's got the number on his back. And at a runner ball. Which did end up taking the pressure off Graham Smith and getting South Africa off to a start. And any sting the Sri Lankans had, taken away with it. Not very clever from Damika Prasad. New batsman on a slower pitch. Got to try and bowl wicket to wicket. Try and get him on the front foot. Just trying a short one or a yorker now and again. It's fine. You have to try and get through the batsman, but not every ball.
Another just a dab down the third man. It's been a pretty productive area that for South Africa. 89 for 1.
Yes, he looks so relaxed there. When you look at him, he's got no sense of going out or getting out of any ball. He sees the ball like a balloon at the moment.
Oh, that's a wonderful shot. We saw an extraordinary shot early in his innings to kick-start his performance today. And that is an absolute beauty.
That's a wonderful shot. I think Hashim has been waiting for that ball anyway, because he's been bowled 2 bouncers, and then he was waiting for that one. He's going to be a little bit foolish as well, so he can lessen it.
I guess throughout your career you would have had the odd tussle with him, Mackay. How did you find bowling to Hashim?
Hashim, he used to walk across when I come and bowl to him, and then he never had the opportunity to stand outside leg stump and try to hit as he just did now, because every time I bowl to him, I make sure that the ball comes back to him, cramp him, not to have a chance to free his hands.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's in brilliant form at the moment, but he's been punished. Or he has punished, I should say, 1 or 2 of the Sri Lankan bowlers. What sort of length did you like bowling to Hashim?
Basically, the good length is most important. To each, it doesn't matter who the batsman is. And then Hashim, as you have to watch his foot movement. He's very good at that, because he wants to make sure that he doesn't get, cramped up for so long. He always want to make score.
Full toss, hammered straight to the man in the covers. 4 runs from the over, 20 gone now, 93 for 1. Hashim's average in the high 50s. So that's probably the lesson to any youngster listening to you, I guess, Mackay, the way you went about your game. Keep it pretty simple.
That's the key. That's the key, AZ, because if you're going to try to force everything, or you bowl a bouncer, you bowl a yorker, you don't even know, you're going to lose where you want to bowl consistently. The major, I think, when it comes to the batsmen like Kallis and Hashim Amla, your margin of error becomes very small. So you have to make sure you challenge him than challenging yourself.
Something I know that quite a few cricketers struggle with is something that you were blessed with, and I'll ask you after this delivery. Bowled him. He's got that through. Just perhaps looking to force that a little bit, Hashim, but he's in such good form at the moment that I'm sure he feels he could have played that shot and got away with it. But that is an important breakthrough now for Sri Lanka. 2 wickets down, and the number 1 in the world in one day has departs.
We just been talking about the area and then the length, and you look at that ball, that's actually the perfect area. You should be bowling. The ball's coming back to him a little bit. I think that's what beats him as well. Hashim 55. Now the score is 94 for 2.
So 94 for 2 it is. Normally it's AB de Villiers who would be striding to the crease in this situation. They've decided to ask JP Duminy to go to the middle just to mix up the right and left-handed combination. 83 games now for JP, an average of just over 40. Strike rate's good at 85. It's a dangerous play, we know that. Has played some wonderful knocks, and he'll be very keen to try and steer this home with sharp colours. 143 they need from 175 deliveries, so South Africa are right now ahead of the game. However, we've been watching enough cricket throughout this summer to know that 1 wicket, if it goes down, there's always a chance of 2, perhaps 3. That's just been the pattern of the summer. Yes. Easily worked to get going for JP Duminy. Mackay and Tini's alongside me in the commentary box. Mackay, what about that pattern of yours of running back to the hotel after day 3 of a test match, even if you spent the whole day in the field?
Hazy, it was a journey. It was a journey that I will never forget it. You know, those are the kind of things that you always remind yourself, how did you make it this far?
Well, that's not a bad shout. It's a big shout from the Sri Lankans. Now, are they going to go upstairs with this one? Kumar Sangakkara has got wide eyes. He thinks maybe they should go upstairs. They're going to ask the keeper, the former captain, to see what he thinks. Telakratna Doshan is asking again Rangana Harath. Kumar, what do you think? Shall we go? Rangana, what do you think? Kumar likes it. Oh, they do it. They've just got in, just in 15 seconds, so they're sending it upstairs now after a dual consultation, it's got to be said. So let's have a look and see how this one goes. Reviewing up to Nigel Long, who was the television umpire. Absolutely no dramas there. Both feet in the lines. Let's have a look and see if there's any connection with the bat. Doesn't look like there's any connection with the bat at all. That's why that replay is shown. It's not right behind the line. I guess we'll have a look at hotspot also to get confirmation that there was no connection with the willow, but it looks like it missed on that. Hotspot will tell us, is there a white mark on the bat? No, there's not. If there was some collision with a ball on the willow, the white mark would have stayed on the bat. So there's no connection with the willow. Now we've got to go to the ball tracking. Originally given not out. Impact in line and sliding down the leg stump. Billy Doctrove got it right with the original decision being not out. So they don't have any more reviews remaining. Sri Lanka. One ball now into the 24th over. That one going down leg side. Just to recap, so you used to run back to the hotel after day 3 of every play in a test match.
That was my plan, you know, to do that every third day, because the reason why is that it doesn't matter if I bowl the whole day. It gives me the energy back. And then knowing that tomorrow is another day of us bowling. As I said to you earlier on, Hazy, that we needed to make sure that we stay fit, we stay fresh at all times. Those are my rules, and then I had to stick with it.
I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, one day in Antigua, we had to run for how long to get back to the top? After bowling all day.
If we can measure that, Hazy, it was almost 2 hours. Running from the ground back to the hotel.
To the Jolly Harbour in Antigua.
To the Jolly Harbour in Antigua, yes.
After a full day in the field.
Yes, indeed.
I bet some of your teammates looked at you a little bit strangely, Micaiah, after that one.
They actually came back and told me that when they get to the hotel, and then they asked me.
Yes.
Got that away just for a couple.
They even asked me, why did I do that? And then I never answered them, because I just ran 2 hours after the whole day, you know, bowling. But in that sense, I never worry, because that was me, knowing that my goal is to be able to do that every second or third day of the test match.
Were you still bowling the next day?
Come on.
Yes, we were still bowling.
Wow. Goodness me, Micaiah. End of the over. 3 runs from that one. Correction, 4 from that one. 106 for 2. Certainly quite content, these two spinners at the moment, to give the ball just a little bit of air and try and get as much purchase as they can out of this track. Time for Micaiah and myself to take a breather in the commentary box now for the next half hour or so. Craig Matthews and Kepler Vessels.
Thank you, Michael. South Africa have this game, for the moment anyway, under control. They're doing it comfortably, Craig, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I can't see how Sri Lanka can get themselves back into the game. They need to get a few wickets. They're bowling spinners with 4 in the circle, just not putting South Africa under any pressure.
Especially not with the required rate, only 5.1. South Africa getting singles at will and rotating the strike pretty well.
And they're certainly doing that, and at the outset, it seems like a good decision to send the left-hander in. Dumini coming in up the order. He needs some cricket, needs some time at the wicket. But having the left-hander, right-hander is presenting another challenge to the Sri Lankan bowlers.
Good running again. Yes, it was a good idea to get JP Dumini in to get him a knock, because he's been out of the South African scene for a little bit with the test matches around, so only comes back in for the one-day games. So the more batting he can get, the better off that he'll be. Do you buy into the fact that he's predominantly a one-day player and not a test player?
Drives it up the ground for another one. Kipler, I have this feeling that anybody who gets 166 at Melbourne against Australia must have some future in Test cricket, to be honest with you.
I thought exactly. .27 gone, 119 for 2. And 18 required for victory. Plenty of time left. 138 deliveries, 8 wickets in hand as well. Bowling was pretty good again today. I don't know what your thoughts were, but I thought South Africa adjusted to the different surface pretty well again today.
In agreement. They were top draw in everything. Showed a good intensity in the last 2 games, which I suppose comes naturally under a new captain. I suppose you naturally get that. But all credit to AB de Villiers. He's got them up for the task each time. And it was a completely different performance today. Whereas in Paul it was quick, it was bouncy and what have you. Here it was different, but he kept the intensity and the aggression. He did very well again.
What he did, and no reason why he can't combine the batting, keeping and captaincy role. MS Dhoni has done that for India pretty well, and AB de Villiers every bit as good a player, in some cases even maybe a little bit better. Nicely played by Jacques Kallis. Same result.
Sweeping the last 2 has been forced by a change in the field setting. Somebody on the drive, some middle, forced Kallis to go onto the onside. There's a natural lapper of the ball or sweeper of the ball. So from that point of view, decision by Dilshan. As I say it, he's made a change. Put the man from short mid-off going around on the sweep.
Oh, Ranga.
124 for 2. So the batting power play is being announced by the umpire, and Malinga comes back into the attack as we thought that he had to. We in fact thought he could have bowled a little bit earlier as well, but this will be Sri Lanka's best chance of effecting a breakthrough and creating some pressure on the South African batting lineup.
It might be an advantage him bowling in the power play. 6 in the circle. It'll be interesting to see how South Africa take this on, because they might see him as the danger man in the Sri Lankan side and say, well, if he goes with 3 or 4 and over, that's fine for the power play. Let's see how aggressive they'll be.
Yeah, if they did that, then they'll have to be a little bit more expansive at the other end. But I would imagine that is the sort of strategy that they'd use.
And the whole way through this game, it's shown that the guys who've got in and played for a period of time, it's easier to score later on in your innings. So you don't want to expose people late on needing 6 or 7 and over and walking to the wicket. It'll be tough for somebody like that.
Slow delivery. You've got to feel for Malinga a little bit, because he puts in good performances on a consistent basis, and he must get a little bit frustrated by the lack of success that the team is having at the moment.
Yeah, very much so. And he hasn't really got any other supporters from a bowling point of view. Got a fifer down in Paarl on Wednesday night and ended up losing by 257. So it is tough. Psychologically, it's tough to keep putting in those performances.
Excellent stroke, but brilliant fielding.
This is a sweeter cover drive as you'll see anywhere in cricket. Beautifully timed, technically perfect from Jacques Kallis. Taranga did well to get down to his right hand side.
Malinga just missed his length by a fraction, and Jacques Kallis is so strong through the offside off the front foot. So that was a brilliant piece of fielding. Unusual for Malinga to miss that Yorker length twice in 2 balls. The second one was a full toss, again well struck by Jacques Kallis, but just the single coming.
You see his figures in the series so far. No wickets today, but a 5 for 54 down in Paarl. But still been very accurate today in his first spell of 4 overs. Accuracy is probably not going to be enough for Sri Lanka now. He needs to knock 1 or 2 over.
That's more like it. The length this time was spot on. Appeal for caught behind, but no interest from the umpire side.
Searching for the Yorker, Malinga. This one just outside off stump. But it's still full enough to get past JP Duminy, hitting the ground.
When he hits that sort of length, Malinga at this stage of the innings, he is really difficult to score off, and that's what makes him so effective. And he's got the change of pace as well, a good slow delivery that he has up his sleeve.
Full toss again, good piece of running by JP Duminy, called immediately. It had gone to the left of the mid-on.
Jacques Kallis as always looks composed, in control. He's paced his innings very well. Well, he won't miss out on that, Jacques Kallis. A full toss and beautifully driven past the bowler for a not a needed boundary, but one that he'll enjoy. So 33 overs gone, 143 for 2.
The difference is big for the while. Sri Lanka were just trying to get things going. Gone for the big shot. Jack Cullison has found the man on the fence. Didn't quite hit it as clean as you'd have liked. It went a long way square, squarer than he intended. And Sri Lanka get wicket number 3. It's that man Prasad again.
He was targeting the offside, but he was trying to hit the top of short extra cover. Didn't get the length he needed, and hence when it hit the bat, it skid towards the sweeper in the deep. A good catch by Chandimal, but Kallis has to go for 37, 3 down for 152.
Limited overs captain A.B. de Villiers walks out to the middle. More than 4,500 one-day international runs, 1100s. Good average, and also a very good strike rate. As a wonderful player as A.B. de Villiers. This is why he's out there, because another great one's gone.
He had to reach for it as well. He gave himself some width. But Tamika Prasad, he bowled wide too.
Good shot, went quickly, and he had to make sure he sprinted across JP Duminy. The call was yes, straight away.
Yeah, they're two good runners. They'll look to run for everything. But a vital time, the captain needs to play a captain's knock. 84 required of 88 deliveries, and the last thing South Africa need at this stage is another wicket. Because then the jitters will start to creep in. Do bat deep. But yet, there's an opportunity of putting the pressure on. And that's what Sri Lanka needs to count on.
That's a crisp strike to start. He's just walked out there, A.B. de Villiers, and really good stride forward and nudge into the offside and timed it to perfection.
He looked really good in Pal as well. And the difference is if you can come in and play shots like this, it pushes the opposition back straight away. And that wasn't a half volley. He hit it on the up, needed to wait for it. Really amazing confidence levels of A.B. de Villiers.
Super shot once again, and this time he goes a couple better. He'll get 4. A slower ball gone astray and punished.
Poor bowling. Tamika Prasad needs to be tight on his pads that time. The fielder also in front of square because the slowness of the pitch. But this is what he did in Pal. From the moment he walked in, it was shots all around the wicket. Favoured that offside over extra cover was his area. And even here, off to a flyer, 7 off 3.
There's a look at that wagon wheel and supporting your statement. Russell, that offside, very strong, gave himself a little bit of room now and again to hit over extra cover. Seemed to just be the preferred area on the day because he can play shots all around. 161 for 3. 161 for 3. South Africa with Du Plessis, Morkel, Peterson to come. It's the final over of the power play. Started with a single.
The 26 scored so far for the loss of 1 wicket. Sri Lanka will take that. And immediately that required rate also has come down because of AB de Villiers' aggression.
Into his 7th over now, Lasith Malinga. A look at his previous over. Yeah, that shows it perfectly, that release point from Hawkeye. And because of that sling and the way that he releases the ball, he tends to release it from right above the stump, so his bowling wicket to wicket, if you like, properly. Others, right arm overs, try and get as close to the wicket as possible, but can't quite. Difficult to get close enough to get over off stump, because then your arm doesn't go around okay. Something different and difficult for batsmen to contend with because of his pace and also his accuracy. A weapon certainly for Sri Lanka. I hope you read that at the bottom of the screen along the ticker. It was about the tennis ball and making it skid.
And he does it time and time again. Perfect Yorker again from Lasith Malinga. And batsmen also trying different things to counter. Some batsmen stand deep in the crease. AB de Villiers standing outside the crease, trying to get him to change his length.
Played. There's a man out there though, so we'll get just the one. He's on a mission. He is. AB de Villiers.
It's the last ball of the batting power play. 29 conceded.
.72 from 79 is what South Africa require from here. And this power play certainly has helped. Yes, Cullis has perished in the process, but I think both sides will take it, Russell.
And also, the important thing to remember is every ball from now on is going to make a difference too. It's 166 for 3.
Oh, bowling.
Herath begins a new spell. Begins it well. At 94 for 2, you may have thought, well, a big chance for Sri Lanka because the in batsman Hashim Amla playing so well was the one to get out. Must say though that Sri Lanka have to a degree used that opportunity quite well, and they've got themselves back into the game.
Yeah, I think they're well in the game. There is a definite opportunity, and like I said, every delivery will make a difference. Every dot ball and a wicket, that will make a big difference. I think AB de Villiers will also know that. And unlike any other batsman, he's not, or he's rather trying to push the Sri Lankans back straight away.
The Sri Lankans will see de Villiers' wicket as first prize at this point. Dumini is out there on 37 from 54. Yes, he's the in batsman. But with the way de Villiers has walked out and played 9 from 6 and taking what he did in the game before as well, add to that he is the captain of the side.
And the form he showed in the test matches.
I call him a special player, and it's because he's well adaptable to situation. He'll play according to how the team needs him to play. Yes, he'll get it wrong here and there now and again, but when he gets it right, it's fantastic to watch, and it hurts opposition. So they'll be well aware of that.
But the Sri Lankans will settle for either one. That's for sure. You generally don't get any choice in this matter.
No, not at all. You take what you can get. Leg byes to finish. 170 for 3. That's how things stand then in the second Sunfoil One-Day International. South Africa won the toss and decided to bowl first. Chandimal getting 92 not out and Talanga getting 66. 236 for 6 Sri Lanka. And South Africa in response 170 for 3. A sparkling 55 by Hashim Amla. And now Dumini on 38 not out with the skipper out there. Just one away from double figures.
It's still Kratna Dilshan once again. He has 3 overs as well. And with the field restrictions lifted, spin from both ends. The 2 spinners have done a great job. Not conceding any boundaries at all.
Run for the reverse sweep and no contact made.
That's why he's so dangerous. He won't let the bowler settle. Plays the reverse sweep, the paddle sweep. He'll come out and play you inside out. Not many batsmen can play all these shots.
It's well played. It'll just be 1. When you say not all batsmen can play these shots, you normally have batsmen who have 1 as a get-out shot and not both, or not all, if I can put it that way. So you're able to plan for the batsman as the bowler. You know where he's going to try and hit you when he decides that he has to get things moving.
But ideally you're targeting at least 2 areas, because bowlers are smart. They'll look to stay away from that zone. And that'll cause a problem to batsmen when they want to get on with it or get away from the strike. So generally there are 2 options at least.
Got it this time. Good timing on the reverse sweep, and it's gone for 4.
Much quicker from Dilshan. He knew AB was going to do something different. That extra pace, that has worked in AB's favour. Playing the reverse sweep, it's very difficult to generate pace.
Good running. Very good running. Potential there for a bit of a mix-up. But de Villiers trusted Dumini, and they were through very quickly.
The Dumini running to the danger end. And he took off straight away. The fielder was on the circle. If you go straight away, you make it 95% of the time.
Nudge down the ground and 8 off the over. So a good one that for South Africa. 178 for 3.
The Worms have drawn much closer now.
Oh, well played. Deft touch, some finesse from JP Duminy.
They've decided that it's got to be now. They don't want to leave too much till the end because Malinga will come back.
So important that the Sri Lankans, and I'll use your phrase here, Russell, hang in there. Oh yes, what a strike. That's a fantastic shot, and it's out of here. 6 new balls, please.
Well worked, well read by JP Duminy. Previous ball quicker worked. The bowler's not going to give you width or bowl it quicker, so he's going to go much slower. And he charges him. Top batting. That's good planning from the South African batsman. It's not about going after the bowling all the while. It's about creating your opportunities.
There you go, replacement ball required. Murray Erasmus will give Sean George and Billy Doctrove the choice. Which one they would like, which one is most like the one that's been dispatched. It's a brilliant shot.
Didn't seem to put too much into it, but it's the middle of the bat.
Yeah, I like your summation of what happened in that JP Duminy created that opportunity by the way he played the ball before, and because the bowler's trying to stay away from that, less pace, and Duminy knew he could advance. Having done so, he had to make sure that he capitalized on that opportunity, and he did, a maximum.
So now Herat decides the best option is to get him off strike. Fires it onto his pads.
And before that 6, I was talking about hanging in there for Sri Lanka and fielders being aware of what's going on around them. This partnership's now worth 35. And that 35, make it 36 now, has been very quick, just 27 balls. And when a new batsman comes to the crease, no matter how well he is playing, it's still an opportunity for you to get another wicket quickly. And so you've got to continually remind yourself as the bowler, as the fielder, a little fielding chance here or there, that you can heap even more pressure on your opposition. Can't afford little misfields.
They've got 2 good overs, so now it's about batting again, batting normally.
JP Duminy gets to another half century. Fantastically played. It's number 15, and it's applauded by the South African change room and this Buffalo Park crowd. It's come off 63 balls, and it's been needed by South Africa. 189 for 3.
Forced a change. Spinners have to be taken off because 19 of the last 2 overs has just turned the game in South Africa's favour.
Angelo Matthews bowled his second over, and for 6 for 1. These are some of the shots that he's played, JP Duminy. How about that for your first boundary?
Yeah, lots of singles, playing that supporting role, but seizing the moment to show intent and to push pressure back onto the opposition. Top stuff. It's been a good knock. Never showed any signs of being in a hurry or panic.
Yeah, quite a lot of discussion. pylons, smoking.
So we're down a few lights.
We're okay with natural light. It is a day game.
Yeah, nothing silly, and that flurry of runs has brought the required run rate now below 5.
It's a fantastic partnership, this, and the injection has come from the captain, as was the case in game number 1 in Pal. Wasn't particularly required in Pal, but here, to a degree, you'd say it needed to be a case where the partnership started to flourish pretty quickly, or Sri Lanka would have got well back into proceedings. And it's the start of killing off the challenge.
It's not been with all big shots. They run between the wickets well. The moment it's been hit away from the fielders, that turn those ones into twos. Dilshan has to bring in extra fielders to try and get those dots. It's brought deep mid wicket in. He obviously wants the deep fine leg in place, Angelo Matthews.
He's got him. I reckon he's got him. If he's got in, well, he's quick as lightning. It's a good throw. It's a direct hit. And a lot of the time, yeah, you see that expression? That says a lot.
It was Kulasekara, the fielder, but Upul Taranga was at point, and he nods because he'll have the best view, and he's had that view. So that's a big wicket. Sri Lanka needed something special.
Yep. The red light will come on. Here's confirmation then from the third umpire. Out. South African captain A.B. de Villiers has got to go back to the change room. And Sri Lanka have an opportunity again.
Didn't really need that single. Got things under control, but he's batted well. Showed intent. And absorbed pressure well. Nuwan Kulasekara with the direct hit. 17 of 13 to A.B. de Villiers. South Africa now 4 down for 193.
In the block hole.
Looking to work that slightly on the onside. Sort of leading half of the bat. Enough for a single though. Just one more ball left of this over. That's well run. And 4 from the over. 205 for 4. Home side have been ahead of the game this whole innings. A couple of decent partnerships has made sure that they're now well within striking distance to finish it off. He's had a little bit of luck there, but it's going to go for 4.
Yeah, more quick outfield than the skill of the shot from Faf du Plessis. Decided to go down the wicket a little bit to Kulasekara. Got inside it, but I think mainly a thick outside edge. It was the old leg break at the back of the hand. Slow ball. Went through the big thick outside edge. Fairly raced away for 4.
far from backward point there. It'll only be one.
Yeah, just looking earlier at those worms, was that innings of Ashimama, 55, 59 balls, which got South Africa ahead of the game, and then it was just a matter of staying in for the balance. As long as they didn't get bowled out, the chances are they were going to get home pretty comfortably.
That early boundary in the over, it just makes such a difference, doesn't it? Even if you are only needing, say, 5 and over, first ball for 4 and the rest, the pressure's off you. It still sits with the fielding side. 6 from 3 balls, no reason why they shouldn't end up with 9 off this over, which is double what they require. Required rate now is 4 runs and over.
Yeah, the South African side, the management will be very happy. Gary Kirsten, coach there. One with a big score in Paarl, and then a fantastic bowling performance. Yeah, it's been more workmanlike, different pitch, different conditions. South Africa have adapted well, and that'll make him very satisfied. Less so for that gentleman. It's been another tough day. And a lot of thought's going to need to go into their performance for the next game in Bloemfontein. He'd also be very happy, wouldn't he, Robin, this innings?
Yeah, I think he's a terrific talent. I'm sure he's going to play an awful lot of cricket for South Africa in the future in all the various teams. Oh, he's got lucky there too. He's fallen safely.
End of the 44th over. South Africa 2-1-4 for 4.
And now many more up in the circle. No sweeper on the cover boundary.
He's produced a leg stump full toss. 50%, he's just tucked away on the onside. Yeah, you got a feeling that they should have maybe done this a bit earlier, with a few more extra guys in the circle to try and cut off the one. The feeling of the horses bolted right now.
At least the lights have gone out. Fire brigade. Well done, lads. All in a day's work. I presume they let them in without having to show a ticket.
trying to get on the onside of the ball, Faf du Plessis, so he can look for that vacant cover area, try and hit through the offside and stay on the onside of the ball. Not successful then, but naturally with his action, Malinga gets the ball just to shape in a little bit. It's difficult to get inside it, makes it that much more difficult to hit through the offside.
Oh, nicely turned. Malinga just losing direction there slightly, and du Plessis plays it fine.
Yeah, he just needs to get some bat on it, and just the right amount. Thickish inside part of the bat. And as soon as it made contact with the willow, it was always only going to be four. Well played, very deliberate to get it round the corner, nice and fine. Looks like a bad ball, still needs to be put away.
End of the over, 220 for 4. The skyline there, just a cautious start to begin with. The 5th over went for plenty, or the 4th over, whichever that is. Looks like it's between the two. 4th over. But good, consistent scoring rate by South Africa. Just keeping up with that that was required. Duminy goes straight and high. Gets away with it.
Yeah, he does get away with it, because I think at one stage he would have had his heart in his mouth as Hereth was making yards back. Definitely didn't get it in the middle of the bat.
222 now the score. Change of pace.
He's been pretty good, Prasad. 3 for 40. Good mix up of pace. Got a really good one to get rid of Hashim Amla. It's been impressive. Trying to get one down to third man. Maybe the ball just nipped back a little bit. Lucky JP Duminy. Drag that onto his stumps.
Too comfortable for South Africa. It has been, really. I mean, you can't really judge a game until both sides are bowled on the same surface and both sides are batted on the same surface, but the stranglehold that South African bowlers put on Sri Lankans at the beginning of the innings made it such that they were never going to post a huge total. 250 was about max. Heard Robin Peterson say in the flash interview when South Africa came off the field that they felt at the beginning, having chosen to bowl first, that if they could restrict Sri Lanka to under 250, they didn't think they'd have a problem chasing it down. So that was their assessment, and it appears to have been spot on. .224 for 4. And not only have the fire brigade put the fire out, The electricians have been at work. They've got 8 working anyway. Oh, here they come. Here they come. Out. Caught and bowled.
He's definitely the main man when it comes to taking wickets for Sri Lanka. And he's got another one, Malinga. It's probably too late. Faf du Plessis will be disappointed. He would like to have been there at the end. Slow ball, bounced a little bit in the wicket. Stopped in the wicket a bit, chipped it back. Made the catch. Not much excitement, but Faf du Plessis on his way for 18 of 16 balls. 224 for 5.
Albie Morkel comes to the crease with an unfamiliar role. He hasn't got to go out there and hit the ball out of the ground. He's got to go out there and help JP Duminy get another 14 runs.
It's the last wicket. Slow ball from Malinga. Too early on the shot from du Plessis. Ball bounced a little bit. Just chipped it back.
Any caught and bowled for a seamer is a good one. Follow through and everything. You've got to, first thing you've got to try and do is rebalance yourself. If you have to change direction, it makes it even better. But that was pretty straightforward as turn catches go. But you could see there was still a moment where he had to just check himself and get his hands in the right place and get balanced. Oh, and they put that one down. He could have been on another hat-trick.
Yeah, he gets people out first ball a lot. This again, full and straight. And he's just chipped it back to him. And he'll be disappointed. As you said, Robin, no caught and bowl's easy for a seamer particularly. That's a nice height to catch after you've bowled it. And I think the other thing that's difficult is sometimes the bowler, you don't know how hard it's coming back at you, and that adjustment's got to be made as well. You'd be disappointed.
South Africa would do well just to make sure this over is survived quietly. They still need way under 4 and over in order to win. So there's no need to take Malinga on.
Yeah, that's a good comment. He's in the changing room upstairs, the number 9 and 10, 11, and thinking, no. I don't have to go put my pads on now.
Well, Robbie Peterson is in next, was the man who hit the winning runs in that game in Guyana. I think he got an inside edge past the leg stump for 4. Oh, a bowl. Well played.
It's exciting to watch Malinga. There's always something happening. Full right in the block hole with a little bit of swing from leg to off. Well played by Albie Morkel. Lights aren't great here. A bit murky. It's not necessarily that good a time to walk to the wicket.
That's clipped away for 4. 229 for 5.
Malinga finished his 10 overs. 10 overs, 1 for 38. And the last ball of the last over, just a bit too full toss, but a sweet piece of timing by Albie Morkel out towards the square leg boundary. And the man just in front of square on the square leg boundary had absolutely no price.
Still got men back for Germany. It's almost that they're not going to hold Morkel necessarily. I feel that everyone's got to be saving one now. You need 3 and over. And if you get hit for 4, you get hit for 4. So
it doesn't matter when you lose in a one-day game, it's whether you lose.
Exactly. It's like you see in Test cricket so often, a guy gets to 90, and the opposition allow him to go from 91 to 92 to 93. When he gets to 90 in 9 singles, when he gets to 99, everyone comes in and say 1. More runs for Morkel, certainly 2.
And a good piece of timing to full one on the leg stump.
6 to win.
South African captain, de Villiers, will be very happy with his charges. He played very well again today. Good level of intensity in the field and a competent job with bat in hand.
Nicely fielded by Herath at mid-off. What is it that's disturbing people? I think it's the luminous green outfit, which is quite close to the edge of the sight screen. Or is there a change in the field? I think the latter. Hit that really hard.
That's a great shot for nothing. Absolutely drilled it up the ground to middle. Right up the middle of the bat.
End of the over, 2:32 for 5. It's 5 to win then with 2 overs to go. Going to be Tilakaratne Dilshan to bowl the penultimate over, or it might turn out to be the ultimate for this game. That's what he's left himself, having committed Malinga earlier. He's always going to have one spare one this end.
very, very tempting for Bobby Morkel to say, "Oh, just hit one up the ground and it's done and dusted." Nobody, it's long on the boundary. We've got a mid-wicket on the boundary and a long off on the boundary. Very tempting to say, let's try and get this done.
As we speak, the mid-on has gone back to long on. Temptation was too great to resist.
Well, he's certainly capable of blowing it out the ground. He's done that often enough. Not too full that. Go underneath the bat.
You got yourself into such a good position. You don't want to sort of suddenly find that you need 5 from the last over. Something goes wrong. 2 dot balls get bowled, and it's all of sardine. There's a little bit of pressure. So you would like to finish it in this over. That's hit pretty hard. And they'll get 2. 3 to win now.
Sekera down at long on, had to move pretty sharply to his right and put the dive in. That enabled Morkel to come back for 2 because he hit it very, very firmly. Good piece of fielding late on in the game. Good commitment. Just these 2 extra runs make it that much easier.
That's it. South Africa go 2-0 up in the series. Or do they? Oh dear, oh dear. Dumity would have been run out by some yards had that been taken cleanly by Kumar Sangakkara. And he's got himself a little bit of cramp here, I think. But he is the hero. He's taken his team through, not out 66. Jean-Paul Duminy, and he's cramped up. Let's hope it's cramp and not some injury. There's his lovely wife in the middle. And Albie Morkel played his little bit again, as did everybody else. Once again, Craig, a clinical performance from the home team.
That certainly has been. Arrived here this morning on a wicket that looked pretty good, but there were some good overcast conditions to bowl in. They decided to bowl first. They hit their lines and lengths spot on. Their field settings were good. They had some plans that they executed to perfection. Bowled pretty straight and set some straight fields. Restricted Sri Lanka, and then the chasers being good. Amla played well up front, and then Duminy, the man in picture, got South Africa home, which will make him very happy. A bit of a comedy of errors there at the back end for the last winning runs. His smile shows. Very, very happy with his performance today.
Just wonder whether he cramped up a little bit as he set off for the 3rd run and then had to virtually sort of give the run up. So South Africa win this 2nd Sunfoil ODI by 5 wickets and lead the match series 2 games to 0.
Here's the winning runs. Cut shot played by Morkel. I think everybody in the ground and the players thought it was going to roll away for 4. It didn't, but hauled in the boundary, and then he slipped, and then he started cramping up, I think. And all it would have required was Sangakkara to take the bails off, and Duminy would have been on his way with the scores level. He was way out. But that didn't happen. Sangakkara dropped it. And Gary Kirsten and Wabo Tsorbi were very happy.
Smith and Amla got South Africa off to a good solid base. Smith getting up for 28, Amla for 55 in 58 balls. Callis played beautiful cricket once again, 37 before he decided to put his foot in the accelerator a little bit and hit the ball a lot squarer on the offside than he intended. Duminy came in and saw his team through. De Villiers supported him with 17 runs from just 13 balls. Du Plessis also ahead of balls faced, 18 from 16, and Morkel had a very simple job to do, which basically was just to bat with Duminy until the end.
Partnership for the first wicket was a good one, 76. Amla played beautifully up front. Cullis and Duminy put on 58, and there were solid partnerships pretty much all the way through the innings. And once they'd had that partnership of 76 up front, it just required South Africa to bat out their overs, and they were always going to get across the line. Malinga was good, and so was Prasad, but the wickets column didn't have enough numbers in it, and that didn't allow Sri Lanka to put any real pressure on South Africa. As I said, if they just batted out their overs, they were going to win pretty comfortably. Harith gave the right-handers a few problems, but unfortunately couldn't get anybody out.
So there we are then. Remember, South Africa won the toss. They put Sri Lanka into bat and restricted them to 236 for 6, despite an excellent innings from Chandimal for 92 not out. Taranga supported him with 66, and Matthews and Kulasekara made the score into something that was almost defendable, but that wasn't going to be the case. South Africa cruised home in the end.